What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. How you guys doing? If you guys are brand new here, man, you guys don't know what we do. Don't worry, I'm gonna break it down for you guys. We talk about the most scariest and creepiest videos on the net, on the web, that's gonna make us question everything. Seekers, put in your thinking caps, man. Sit back. Let's do what we do best, Seekers. Say it with me, y'all. Yeah, I know what we do. Seek the truth.
Decided to ask Rock why there's a freaking pyramid and an all-seeing eye on our dollar bill, and it deadass told me that it's about patriotism. You know, even though it's in Egypt, it's about patriotism.
Cat.
Right on. Anyways, this is my driver, and we are ruled by Satanists. Literally occultists. Yeah. Anyways.
She got her hands like that. She cracked the dome, bro. What the hell? She's peeling the layers, bro. What the? Bro, imagine we're all under a dome right now, bro.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but you may actually be able to live forever. I'm not even joking right now. I swear on my grandma. If you're like most people, you've probably thought about future civilizations, the possibility of not dying, immortality, all of that nonsense. Now, of course, this isn't real. Well, maybe it is. At the moment, time catches up with all of us. At the end of the day, we all die one day or another. So, I've seen a lot of people talking about this recently, and it's actually blowing my mind, and it will you as well. Make sure you share this video. Reportedly, if you can survive until 2050, you will be able to live forever. Like, that's a fact. As apparently by that year, they will actually have a cure for death. Wow, okay. We haven't even got a cure for some of the worst illnesses. How are you going to cure death? Believe it or not, there is actually a research development company that is literally making this right now. It is these little things called nanobots, which actually will go into your body and into your bloodstream. Every day, these little, robots will be inside your body, checking up on everything that's going on. And of course, if they find something wrong, it will be at a very early stage, so you can go to the doctors, but that's only phase 1, because in the future, they could even cure it themselves. In the future, this would completely annihilate GPs, doctors, everything, and make AI and robotics completely take over. Now though, if you look up the current world population, how the hell is this going to work? The current population on Earth is over 8.2 billion people, and already today alone, over 175,000 people have been born, and over 84,000 people have died. So imagine a world with that many births, but no one dying. The Earth would literally not be able to cope. However, the research they're developing in these little nanobots are not a dystopian future away, and it does genuinely sound realistic this could actually happen. So let me know your thoughts and I will keep you updated.
This is
Seekers, would you guys want to live forever, bro? Tell me down below, man. I genuinely want to know you guys' answers.
the reason why you have to pay attention to your surroundings. This woman was coming back home when she felt someone was following her, but it was her reaction that saved her from a possibly terrifying situation.
We're looking at Jeffrey Allen Latch. According to his girlfriend, he worked black ops for an agency quote-unquote higher than the CIA. She also claimed he had alien DNA. When he was found older, his handlers would come and deal with the aftermath. Those handlers never came, and when police finally entered his home and his storage unit, they found over 1,000 firearms and 6.5 tons of ammunition. There was over $200,000 in cash found in the property, and over $1 million of jewelry, electronics, and high-end luxury items. He also had over 14 vehicles, one reportedly designed to drive underwater. The story quickly disappeared from the news, and almost no one has heard of this.
Talk about childhood classics. If you know, you know.
I don't know, bro. Put me on game.
She went off on this part of the song. It gave opera hip hop. And from here, it all escalated so quickly.
I don't remember this. What the? What movie is this?
inside you. Something these morning injections take away.
I thought the injections are for our health.
No, they remove something. What?
What you're about to see may seem like science fiction, but sometimes reality is stranger than fiction.
What the?
Do you see a path for Optimus to have consciousness downloaded to it?
You mean human consciousness, or?
Yes.
It's not like immediate, but if you said down the road, would you be able to, say, with a neural link, have a snapshot of, or at least an approximate snapshot of somebody's mind, and then upload that approximate snapshot to an Optimus body? I think that at some point that technology becomes possible, and it's probably less than 20 years. But of course, you won't quite be the same. It'll be a little different because you'll be in a robot body, and the mental snapshot will not be precise. It'll be probably pretty close, but not exactly the same. On the other hand, are you the same person that you were 5 years ago? Nope. I mean, a lot of things have changed. But I guess at some point, if you want to be uploaded to a robot body, my guess is that becomes possible.
That's Elon Musk talking about uploading a mind into a robot body. 20 years, he says. But the thing is, someone was already funding this research. Every single stage of it.
This the type.
Wow, bro. Check out the freaking, you guys seekers, check out a show called Alien Earth, man. Like, it literally happens. They upload, like, children minds into robot bodies. All goes to chaos, man. It's right there in front of us. You just have to look.
Weather that get your ass sick. And when I say sick, I mean sick as a dog. Because it is snowing right now, bruh. If you in the DMV, you know our weather is fucked up.
Yep.
Said it felt like 22 degrees outside. When yesterday, it felt like 80 degrees. Fool, this was a cloud from yesterday. We had a severe thunderstorm, and they were talking about a tornado warning. And mind you, it was hot yesterday, like 75, 80 degrees. And fast forward to today, it is goddamn 30 degrees outside. And before it started snowing, y'all, it was hailing. It was literally hailing outside. Ice droplets on the car. This was me recording this shit. Ice. And now it's full-blown snow.
Crazy.
They also sent this out yesterday. I got the alert on my phone and everything. Tornado watch. And now, like I said, snow. Y'all think this shit on? It's not.
The fact that I don't hear enough people talking about this is concerning. Elon Musk's Neuralink has gone into mass production. And for those who don't know, Neuralink works by removing a section of your skull and in that place putting a robot implant. That robot implant connects to your brain, which connects directly to the internet. And as always, I come with fact-checked information, so let's roll the clip.
Neuralink to begin high-volume brain implant production this year. The company will also move to a streamlined, almost entirely automated surgical procedure in 2026, Elon Musk posted on X. Musk added that device threads will go through the dura without the need to remove it, referring to the brain's outer protective layer.
This is not a Black Mirror episode, this is real life. The time has come for us to become as self-sufficient as possible. Luckily, I make videos on how to do just that. Follow for more.
Went swimming in an abandoned lake, not realizing the danger she was in, because even after noticing a thick layer of mold covering the water, she decided to swim anyway. At first, nothing seemed wrong, until she inhaled some of the water. She started feeling sick and turned to her followers for help. They warned her she may have ingested brain-eating amoebas, but after posting that video, she never uploaded again.
Crazy.
Marilyn Manson, accusée d'agression sexuelle, ouvre le défilé d'enfants riches déprimés. Cette marque est une façon de dire « accepte ta douleur », parce qu'on vit dans un système qui célèbre les abus. Et toutes les grandes marques reprennent les codes du sacrifice et du contrôle mental. Œil caché, visage masqué, objectification, animalisation, cage, tentacule. C'est pas de l'art, c'est un protocole. Avec comme des garçons, la femme devient homme, l'homme devient femme. On efface l'identité, on hybridise. Parce que l'élite fonctionne par inversion. Et les soirées Rothschild avaient les mêmes masques que la haute couture d'aujourd'hui. La soirée Mar-a-Lago de Trump, des invités habillés en chien. Tout ce qui était caché devient public et normalisé. Les gens s'adaptent et deviennent des créatures.
We are here with creatures.
C'est ce qu'on appelle avant-garde. Et le magazine de mode sur le sujet, c'est Dazed and Confused, qui signifie chaos et confusion. Les boules qu'on voit sur les vêtements, c'est l'infection du parasite. La créature qui s'infiltre et prend la place de l'homme. Terrer l'ADN. Maintenant, la 6G de Trump et Neuralink de Musk, c'est la suite pour faire de l'homme un hôte programmable.
So you're telling me that this whole time people are finally waking up to these Grabavoid codes, and that manifesting these codes was never about begging the universe? It was about directing attention with precision and consistency? You motherfuckers. See, the ancients understood something that we forgot. They didn't just pray, they encoded intention. They encoded intention into symbols, geometry, and numbers. That's why these sequences exist today. They're not magic, they're not superstition, they are focused coordinates. Oh, wow.
I need to write those down.
Scary things hidden in photos. Just a normal photo.
Alright, can you guys spot the change? We analyzing this. She's smiling, fan. Got it. Oh yeah.
Who's that?
I don't
Just
know.
a normal photo.
Analyzing. Smiling. Hey. It was orb. It was particles, man. Okay, I see your leg right there.
Who's that?
He's one of the last people on Earth to still use an iron lung. And he's coming up to a staggering 71 years trapped inside. These eerie-looking machines became commonplace in the 1950s and were used to help the tens of thousands of paralyzed children breathe after the polio virus caused them to lose control of their respiratory muscles. The now 77-year-old Paul was one of those children and has been using this iron lung for the last 70 years. When asked what the hell he does all day, he said the same thing everyone else does. He wakes up, brushes his teeth, washes his face, shaves, has breakfast. And because he hates just watching TV, he instead does some reading, studying, painting, and drawing. And I know everyone's wondering how the hell he showers and goes to the toilet. Well, apparently there are panels on the side which open up that can be used to place bedpans and give him sponge baths. But what's crazy is that not only did he pass the bar and become a lawyer for several years, he painstakingly wrote every word of his 150-page memoir using his mouth to type with a stick. I mean, this makes me out of breath just reading it. Over the years, he's learned to breathe for short periods of time out of the iron lung. But that consists of using his throat muscles to force air past his vocal cords, allowing him to swallow oxygen one mouthful at a time. I'll take the iron lung, thanks. And when asked what his dream was, he didn't say to walk again and be cured. He said to not let polio defeat him, but to defeat polio, and to achieve all of the things that people said he couldn't achieve. And just like that, I'll never complain again.
I'm dead.
Basically, OpenAI thought that we needed ChatGPT more than we needed our privacy. OpenAI signed a deal with the Pentagon. OpenAI signed a deal with the Department of War, and people are nervous. But get this, they're trying to tell people that they signed that deal with the Department of War, with the Pentagon, for military use only. But Claude AI has been feuding with the Pentagon because the Pentagon's Department of War wants to use Claude for mad domestic surveillance. So what does that have to do with OpenAI? Well, just like I said, OpenAI just signed that deal with the Pentagon. But privacy means everything to American people. And OpenAI, ChatGPT is falling right before their eyes. OpenAI users have been uninstalling OpenAI and ChatGPT ever since they got the news. There was a 295% spike, and that was all of the people that uninstalled. So basically, we know the AI app that we need to be with. We definitely need to be with Claude AI because Claude AI didn't take the bait. We already know that recently there's been a lot of debates inside the tech world about artificial intelligence being used for things like surveillance and warfare. Yep. You have some AI companies saying that they don't want their technology used for those purposes, and then you have the other one. Those ones are working with the government. You got to think about how powerful AI is already. It can analyze conversation, images, data, patterns, faster than any human could. And imagine that technology connected to government databases, surveillance systems, or military infrastructure. You do the math. Because history shows that once a powerful tool exists, governments and corporations find a way to use it. It's about power. And like I said, OpenAI took the bait. Pay attention.
Damn. I ain't have AI, bro. I don't use it at all. Okay.
So, I'm currently in a hotel. Because
why are you freaking out?
Something's been at my house, and it comes out whenever I try to go to sleep.
Oh, we moving. Simple.
So I thought if I go somewhere else, maybe you can't find me.
What the? I see something peeking out. What the? Oh, hell no, bro. How did it get in this room? We got to throw hands, bro. Simple. I don't know how you got in this room, but you ain't gonna take me. I ain't going down without a fight, bro. You just gonna be in the coverage, not confronted? He hit the speed beam, bro. It ain't gonna go away. Where the? Where'd it go? It's still in there. You're not breaking down.
I don't know if y'all noticed, but millions of people once again were plunged into darkness into Cuba last night, y'all. And I don't think this is random. And I do believe this is a byproduct of what's happening throughout the whole world right now, y'all. But in the last time this took place, Cuba actually sat in darkness for more than 2 weeks. So who knows how long this is going to last. But this is what Trump had to say about Cuba. Listen.
With Cuba is amazing. And we think that we want to finish this one first. But that will be just a question of time before you and a lot of unbelievable people are going to be going back to Cuba. Hopefully not to stay. We want you back and we don't want to lose you. We don't want to make it so nice that they stay. But some people probably do want to stay. They love Cuba.
So do you guys think he's getting ready to clean up Cuba? Because this is what Cuba is looking like right now, y'all. Like, this is pretty sad. Cuba was known as the pearl of the Caribbean at one time. And all of this is because of America, allegedly. So do you think he's about to make this right? He's about to fix this?
Imagine being held captive for more than 20 years, then while you sit there and realize that no one is coming to save you, you set the house on fire and you're finally free. That's exactly what happened to now a 32-year-old man who was held captive in his room since the age 11. When he was found by police, he was extremely malnourished, weighing only 68 pounds, which is insane for a 32-year-old. It was said that at one point he attended school like a normal kid, but then he was pulled out and he was homeschooled, but eventually he just never left the house again. So on February 17th at approximately 8:42 p.m., 56-year-old Kimberly Sullivan called police and said that her house was on fire. When police arrived, they found a 32-year-old man in horrible living conditions, and he told police that he intentionally set his bedroom on fire because he's been held captive since he was 11 and wanted to be free. He then said that his father, who died a year ago, let him out of the room for longer periods of time, but after his death, it was just him and his stepmother, Kimberly Sullivan. He told police that DSF visited the home when he was a child after people were concerned over his weight and that he was stealing food and eating things out of the garbage. But at the time when DSF spoke to him, he said that he was forced to say that everything was fine because his stepmom and father threatened to not feed him. Kimberly was arrested, but she pleaded not guilty, and her defense as of right now is that she has nothing to do with this and it was all her husband who passed away. Now, the worst part, which really pissed me off, is that this woman was released on bail. She's wearing an ankle monitor, but she's out. She's walking free after this man endured so much abuse for the last 20 years.
Crazy.
That half of medicine is made up, and we don't know which half, okay? We know a lot about our human bodies, but we don't know everything. For example, if you have inflammatory bowel disease, you are much more likely to develop dementia, comorbid anxiety, and depression, but we don't know why, which is crazy, because in 100 years from now, like, they're gonna look at us and be like, huh, they didn't know digestion affected the brain, that's crazy. We also know that nobody born blind has ever developed schizophrenia. We just don't know why. Hell, I had a dermatologist tell me that we still don't know what causes an itch, and this is why it's so hard for people to find a remedy for like itchy skin. I'll do you one better, okay? Anesthesiologists have admitted that they don't know why the principal agent in anesthesia even works, and it said that whoever does figure this out is going to win a Nobel Prize. We have no answer for how our body knows if it's going to be a fart or a shit, right? And like sometimes it makes a mistake, but like most of the time we know, but we don't know why. This is a fun one for any pregnant people out there. OBGYNs don't know what causes labor. They know the mechanics, they know the physiology, but they don't know what makes the average uterus just be like, all right, it's go time.
Top 4 scariest places in the ocean. Number 1, Taylor Glacier, Antarctica. This looks like a geological crime scene. However, what it actually is extremely salty, iron-rich water that is leaking from a glacier. Now, this water is so salty that it refuses to freeze, and it's so rich in iron that it looks like blood. 2, the wall in St. Croix. This is a giant drop-off less than 400 meters away from the shoreline, and basically, this is a 2-mile drop down to the abyss at the bottom of the ocean, so this is absolutely horrifying and nowhere I'd want to be. Number 3, the Turtle Tomb. Basically, this is a set of underwater caves that are filled with countless sea turtle skeletons and even dolphin remains from animals that have gotten lost and trapped in these caves and run out of oxygen. It is really horrifying. Number 4, the Torrey Brecon Maelstrom. Basically, this is a permanent whirlpool off the coast of Scotland that can get to over 650 feet deep and is extremely powerful and horrifying. Whirlpools are scary. I'm sorry, this is horrifying. I don't like it.
Me either.
He lined all 3 of his sons up, read the Bible to them, and then shot them all execution style right in front of their own mother. He broke down in tears after his wife said him behind bars for life will be the best thing for our family going forward. The only 2 people who lived after this ordeal was his wife and then his stepdaughter. All 3 of his sons are dead. It should be noted all the boys tried to escape. They knew what was going on. However, he got them, hunted them back down, brought them back to the house, and lined them up again to shoot them. The mother tried to stop him from killing the boys, however she got injured in the process. Apparently he had planned executing them for months, and after the execution, he walked calmly to the porch and sat down with his rifle next to him, waiting for police to come and arrive. The mother called the police, and the stepdaughter ran to a neighbor's house and said, "Help, my dad is killing people." When the police got there, the body cam footage was very chilling. He was smiling in it. He then said, "I ain't gonna hurt nobody." The police said, "You have the right to remain silent, so use it." Strangely enough, during his interview, he said, "The Bible told me to kill my firstborn, my secondborn, and my thirdborn. It also said to kill my wife, but I didn't kill my wife." The motive is really unclear on why he even did this. What are your opinions on this story?
Monster. Ooh. The hell is that? Imagine seeing some those animatronics like that, man. They old, they don't freaking work no more. They look like something straight out of a horror movie. Get out of here, man.
These are the craziest things ever discovered underground. In July 2005, when the sand from the Sahara Desert began to fly with the wind, they found the bones of a 40-million-year-old whale. It was always theorized that the Sahara Desert used to be a sea, and this pretty much confirmed it. But the most shocking thing was that some of these whales even had the bones of feet. And this shows how land-based animals actually evolved to live in the ocean. In 2018, a farmer named James was digging to install a drainage pipe in his yard. That's when he found the skull of a woolly mammoth, which was 14,000 years old. Archaeologists said that humans hunted it and later buried it right in this field. Finally, in 2015 in Argentina, Jose Antonio wanted to take a breath of fresh air by this lake. That's when he found a large round object in the water. This was the shell of an armadillo that was 10,000 years old. According to the shell, armadillos at the time would grow to around 11 feet. And after this discovery, many other giant armadillo shells began mysteriously appearing around Argentina.
Man.
Imagine a big
What is that?
Don't hug me, I'm scared. That is what this Jurassic paralysis pigeon's packing. This is a shoebill stork. Although don't let names fool you. This cursed muppet is more pelican than stork. They're more likely to take children than deliver them. And in a few seconds, I will address that. Flexing an 8-foot wingspan and up to 5 feet tall, this dinosaur in down can look some of y'all in the eye. That blunt force object is how they get their name and nutrients, because they hunt by decapitating prey with that shoebill. Also, their scientific name is Balaenocephs rex, or B-Rex, and prey can range from lungfish and catfish to snakes, and they're a threat to the minor safety of crocodiles. They inflict more than physical damage with that beak, because when they clap their bills together, a veteran goes fetal.
Sounds like a gunshot.
Shoebills usually keep it silent, but during nesting season, they'll tend to speak up, so when duty calls, they give call of duty. Speaking of which, shoebills have 2 chicks with the intention of caring for one. That second baby is a backup plan. That plan gets canceled once the bigger shoebill beats, bludgeons, and bullies the weaker one into oblivion, while the parents encourage it by only feeding the stronger one. Plenty of animals do this, but doesn't make the Jurassic reject look any better. Weird thing about this bird is that they're completely friendly to humans, and they're one of the few birds where you can walk right up to their nest, and unless you're being a menace, they will tolerate your presence. Some shoebills even get habituated to people and act like trained dogs. In fact, this is Sushi the shoebill, and as long as you bow in front of her, the harmless hippogriff will vibe with you. And since bowing's close to how married shoebills greet each other at the nest, she basically considers humans her family. Shoebills are alright.
Okay, shoebills. We learning.
I hope y'all lived your life well without seeing my child, Gabrielle Blair. You lived well without seeing them throughout their whole life, so live well now. But you ain't got nothing to say to me for what I did for my child. Period.
As a mother, one of your primary responsibilities was to protect your kid. And in that respect, you failed in the worst possible. There's nothing that can be done at this point to change what happened.
True, that's why I'm asking for life.
They lived in terrible fear of you. And I find that just so sad these days. You imposed the death penalty on your own children.
I did.
You're therefore sentenced to the Michigan Department of Corrections for the rest of your life without the possibility of parole, meaning, of course, that you will never get out. You will receive credit for 115 days.
She do not care.
On February 15, 2018, the defendant, Pearl Cynthia Fernandez, entered a plea to murder in the first degree and further admitted the special circumstance of intentional murder by torture. Accordingly, it is the judgment and sentence of this court that the defendant shall be sentenced to a term of life in prison without the possibility of parole for the underlying murder charge.
I'm sorry for my children, and I want them to know that I love them. And I hope one day they will forgive me. And I hope one day they would come to me. I wish they could escape you.
Urban legends that ended up
Nah.
being real for 23.
Tombstone thunderbird. It is said to be spotted in Tombstone, Arizona. It's a huge bird with a wingspan that stretches over 20 feet long, and it comes out during storms. The most well-known account comes from 1890 when two ranchers in Tombstone claimed to have encountered and killed a creature matching the thunderbird's description. The massive bird attacked their livestock, forcing them to shoot it down. They described it as having leathery bat-like wings and looked more like a dinosaur than a bird. The men dragged the bird back to town, where a photograph of them standing with the massive creature was taken. This photo has become one of the greatest mysteries of the legend. And in 1977, a family in Lawndale, Illinois claimed that a thunderbird attacked their young son while he was out playing in the yard. The bird tried to carry the boy away before being scared off by the family. And the most recent sighting comes from 2020 when a group of campers in the forests of Pennsylvania claimed to see a shadow pass over their campsite, blocking out the moonlight. But when they looked up, they described a bird so large it seemed to glide silently across the sky, and its wings created a whooshing sound as it disappeared into darkness.
Thunderbird, okay. We saw photo evidence. How do people like that have to exist, man?
If you hear bones clinking behind you at night, you better run. The Gashidokaru are a yokai from Japanese folklore dating back 1,000 years. They're described as malevolent skeletal giants that can be as big as 15 times the size of a human. It's said that these giants wander around in the middle of the darkest nights, and if they see a human, they'll sneak up behind them. The last thing the victim will hear is the clinking of bones and the chattering of teeth before the Gashidokaru reaches down with its skeleton hands to crush them and bite off their head to drink their blood. According to the folklore, these things are created when people died from war and famine and didn't receive a proper burial. Unable to move on, their souls become angry ghosts, and when hundreds of them gather together, their hatred ferments and twists into this supernatural force, bringing the bones of the deceased together into this gigantic and horrific form. They're thought to be indestructible, so the only way to ward them off is with a Shinto charm. But what do you think of the Gashidokaru? Make sure to leave a comment and like and follow this channel for more Fortean content.
It looks like they came from an episode of Attack on Titan, man. I don't know if y'all, the Seekers, ever heard of the anime. They like freaking look like giant skeletons, and they kind of do what you described that freaking monster does. So I'm seeing the similarities there. Damn, what the?
Orcas are black Air Force bully Oreos, and I'm gonna tell you why. This video was taken in Mexico where a gang of zebras jumped a stingray, slapping the life points out of it for over 90 minutes. But the real disrespect was that when it was over, they didn't eat it. They just let the soul evacuated placemat sink to the abyss. And here's why. Orcas aren't just smart, they have whole cultures, different accents, and even trends that they follow. They also have the most creative ways of turning prey past tense, and they learn it from the elders in their pod. That's how a desaturated roid dolphin can weaponize physics against a seal. So what they'll do is, the older members, usually the grandmother, will mollywop a victim. We're talking get them all the way down to near 0 HP. And that's when they bring the children in. And that's how they teach little orcalets how to take a life without risking their own. It's why they'll send a SEAL to the Air Force before they let their kids get their practice in. And why Mama Orca will T-bone a white before she teaches them how to use tonic immobility against them. It's not evil in theory, diabolical in practice. There was one Mama Orca that not only memorized the exact place and time of year elephant seals keep their pups in shallow nursery pools, she waited the exact moment the shallow water was high enough for her to pull up and pup nap a seal. She kept them alive and dragged them out into the ocean to the rest of her family, where they turned them into a life lesson. A lesson that lasted hours, and the seal was alive for almost all of it. If that sounds cruel, just remember, if they didn't learn what and what not to eat from their parents, there'd be a lot more stories of this plus-size oppression porpoise packing up people. On pod, the more you know.
Now the photo you see behind me is from a leaked case file with two people who were only ever identified as Chester and Kellyanne M. They're a very normal couple. They were married in 2012, but the incident reports about their home started coming in as early as 2015. There's like no strange history about this place. The only thing we know are those incident reports about the HVAC system. But the reason any of it's relevant links back to this picture that they took during the time of their complaints. See, the incident reports have been about the HVAC system, the vent system, and specifically things heard and seen in the crawl spaces. After the couple had both gone missing in early 2016, this was a photo that was recovered, and if you look to the background, you'll see what's wrong. In the picture they took, although it's inconclusive, many people believe this is a person who was hiding in their crawl space before they went missing. Enhanced photos only furthered suspicion.
People, man, be hiding in the most strangest places, bro. In a crawl space. You gotta check every inch of your house, man, to be safe.
4 aquatic bugs way scarier than murder hornets. Number 1, the giant water bug. These guys are massive. They get to almost 5 inches long. They eat everything from ducklings, frogs, fish, lizards, snakes. Everything's on the menu, and these guys are fearless. With giant pincers and a terrifyingly sharp proboscis, they love to inject stomach acid into their victims, completely melt them, and drink them like soup. 2, the diving bell spider. Because of course there are spiders underwater as well. There's nowhere to escape from these creepy crawlies. Now, these guys are absolutely amazing innovators. They can actually store water in bubbles, and they can survive for up to a day without having to come back to the surface to get more water. They get to almost an inch long. 3 is the giant Dobson fly. These guys can get to over 6 inches long. They are absolutely massive. They have a really painful bite, but they're actually not aggressive at all. And the crazy thing is they live as larvae for most of their life, and they're only an adult, full-fledged form for a couple of days to mate and then die. Number 4, the water scorpion. Now these guys can get to about 4 inches long, and they're not actually scorpions. They're something called a true bug, and this really long tail-looking thing is basically a straw to allow them to breathe air while they live underwater, which is kind of crazy.
Okay, man. I'm not that. Of course they have spiders underwater.
Be more familiar to you, as by now many both locally and internationally are aware of his horrific actions. Here's the final update in his case, as Hugo Ferreira appeared in court today for his sentencing. If you're not aware of the case and you have the stomach for it, I've linked the full video where I discuss it in detail down below. Today in the Gauteng High Court, Hugo Ferreira was handed down 2 life terms for the murder of his 8-day-old baby. Wearing shorts, flip-flops, and a black hoodie, he did not flinch as his disturbing actions of that day were recounted in court. During the sentencing process, it was also evident that Hugo had not disclosed the true extent of the injuries against the 8-day-old infant. The court ultimately found that Hugo showed no remorse, and the murder was premeditated. During the pre-sentence report, he had also stated how he wanted to and would take the life of baby Caitlin's mother if he wasn't incarcerated. Threats that clearly indicated that not only did he lack remorse, but he stands a low chance of rehabilitation. And so we close that sort of saga. Unfortunately though, there are many more out there who will likely suffer the very same fate. It's time for a change. It's time for our government to declare gender-based violence a national disaster. If you haven't already, please sign the official Women for Change petition, which will be handed over on the 11th of April at the Union Buildings in Pretoria. You know the drill. Keep your eyes on my feet, and I'll be sure to keep you in the loop. Until the next one, Gala out.
More than 120 years, people believe that there is something very wrong with this lighthouse. Creepy story from the early 20th century, actually the year 1900. This lighthouse is constructed, and there are 3 lighthouse keepers who were appointed to it among the first crew. All 3 of the men were very experienced. Some of them were principal keepers. Some of them had like upwards of 20 plus years of experience. All 3 go missing on the night of December 15th. Like one ship that was a witness who saw somewhere between the 9 to 10 p.m. window the light of the lighthouse go out, which would have been extremely unusual. I mean, that is the safety feature. 26, when the relief ship got to the lighthouse and discovered the men were gone, not only were they gone, there were strange things in the lighthouse. Clothing was left, meals were half finished and on the tables, and all of the men were gone, and mysteriously, all of the clocks seem to have stopped at 8:45 p.m. To this day, nobody really knows what happened to the men. And if you're looking for more eerie stories, check out my podcast.
Big Ben is going digital.
Okay.
Let me explain. So we all know the massive London clock tower, the Big Ben, right? Well, today I woke up and saw news saying they are going to make some redesigns to the Big Ben. And the main reason why they're going to make a redesign is because people keep complaining over and over, saying it shouldn't even be there because they can't read those types of clocks anymore. This is honestly just wild. And they claimed that just in a couple weeks, they will be changing the clock from this style to a digital style, so everybody can read the clock finally. Oh my goodness. And instead of the chimes it usually makes, it will make this sound now every hour. Wait, am I getting a call? Wait, hold on, guys. Hello? Oh, my bad. I forgot to tell them. Send this to a friend to waste their time.
Y'all, there was a search underway today going on right now in the Asha Degree case. Y'all, this is huge. So as most of y'all know, there has been a lot of recent updates made in the Asha Degree case, the early 2000s case of a missing little girl that went out allegedly and walked on the highway not too far away from her home and was last seen walking in the opposite direction from traffic. Someone spotted her and she ran off into the woods. Now, her backpack was found with a shirt that is to this day unidentified by her family or anyone that she knew. Now, this shirt connected police to the Dedmans. Now, this is how I want y'all to follow along. The Dedmans is a family, and I believe they owned a nursing home. The father and the mother owned a nursing home.
Okay.
And there was 2 teenage daughters that grew up there and, you know, lived around that area. That's who they believe might have had something to do with Asha Degree's disappearance. So today they did a major search at an abandoned building that was owned by the Dedmans. That's currently owned by the bank. And that's who let them do the search. All these years they couldn't search this area because the Dedmans were the one who owned it. Now this is the Dedmans right here. I want you got to pay attention, you guys. These are the blonde one right here is the one who was texting her husband, her ex-husband or whatever. She was texting him about Asha Degree and what happened to them. She was telling people are going to find out. She was like, oh, people are going to find out what happened to Asha Degree. Or she said the name Asha. So that proved that she or someone in the family knows something that happened to Asha Degree the night 2001 where she disappeared. This is the building right here. Like I said, we don't know what they found or what they're doing, but we do know that this is huge because, man, this case is so old, and to see this in my lifetime is just, I can't imagine what the family is feeling. A lot of people have blamed the family. I've always known the family was innocent, but the fact that people have blamed the family breaks my heart, and the whole time it was allegedly this family that has something to do with Asha Degree's disappearance.
This
Crazy.
is one of the most disgusting and evil cases I've ever heard. In February of 2013 in the Bronx, New York, a man was walking his dog at around 4 a.m. when his dog began to sniff around and led the man to a pile of trash bags that were left on the curb. As the man got closer, he realized that there was an awful smell coming from the bags that were sitting on the curb. So he decided to investigate, and lo and behold, he discovered that the bags were full of dismembered body parts. The man then decided to call the police, and after further investigation, the police found multiple different bags full of more dismembered body parts scattered across the city. It would then be discovered that the dismembered body parts would belong to a 45-year-old at-home caregiver by the name of Tanya Bird. Her body parts were placed in multiple heavy-duty trash bags containing everything from her torso to her shoulders to even her head. But guys, if only that was the worst part. You see, police then moved on to contact Tanya's son, Basim McLean, in which he responded that he believed that his mom's abusive ex-boyfriend was the one behind the killing of his mother. But little did the police know that that was not the case. As part of the investigation, police decided to go through Basim McLean's phone to see if he had any connection with his mom's murder. And lo and behold, they discovered a picture of McLean smiling in a selfie while holding his mom's decapitated head in his left hand. Yes, this is the picture of McLean holding his mom's decapitated head like it's a trophy. And of course it's blurred because we're not going to show the actual picture on here. After this, though, he was actually sentenced to 25 years in prison. But wait, it gets crazier. You see, years prior, before he was arrested, Basim McLean was actually married to a woman named Vera McLean, in which him and her had a 4-year-old son together. And about a year into McLean's prison sentence, he gets a call while in jail that his ex-wife, Vera McLean, is being charged with murder after beating their 4-year-old son to death with a broomstick. She was then sentenced to 17 years in prison. So one of them killed their mother, dismembered her body, and then flaunted her head in a selfie, and the other one beat their son to death with a broomstick. That's a pretty twisted couple, if you ask me.
I can't stop thinking about what I just learned recently. There was a woman who had a persistent cough and fever for over 6 months. She received antibiotics, anti-tuberculosis medicine, and nothing was helping. The cause ended up being an inverted bag-like structure inside of her lung that was later revealed to be a condom. Keanu Reeves' stunt double in The Matrix is who ended up directing him in the John Wick movies. The word run is apparently the most complex word in the English language because it has 645 possible meanings. Luis Albino was a 6-year-old boy who was kidnapped in 1951 and was found alive by his relatives in 2024. When Pluto was discovered, the first choice for a name was Minerva, but apparently it was already taken by an asteroid. After Steve Carell left The Office, James Gandolfini of The Sopranos was offered the role to replace him, but HBO paid him $3 million to not take it.
Wow.
The iPhone 5 was released in the same month that GTA 5 came out.
Is this the dark reason this number is in every Disney movie?
Have you been down this rabbit hole yet? This is almost all Pixar movies have
It's in, like, all the
A113 somewhere in the background. This one, that's not even, I mean, that's the front and center. Almost every single one, I'm pretty sure every single one has it. A113 on the door. Heck, even Finding Nemo has it. And you may be thinking, what's A113? What's the big idea? They had it, like, this had to go slow motion for you to even see it. What is A113? Well, it's the chemical formula for adreno, you know what. However, I'll tell you what the fact check is. I will tell you what the cover-up is as to why they put A113 even in Finding Nemo on the camera right here. You'll see it.
Okay.
The fact check is that A113 and its variants are an inside joke and an Easter egg in media developed by alumni of California Institute of the Arts, referring to the classroom used by graphic design and character animation students. A113, it says there, you can barely read it. To me, though, that doesn't really, like, take away from the fact that it also so happens to be the chemical formula of oxidized adrenaline.
Stay weird.
Epinephrine.
Have you heard about this? Why is Vegas so empty right now? Why is no one vacationing in Las Vegas right now? Mind you, when I travel to Vegas, it's always jam-packed. The strip is always hopping. Things are popping. Things are happening. People are just everywhere. But there are videos that are circulating all over that are showing Vegas and the Vegas Strip empty. Could it be the fact, with all the issues that planes have been having lately and all the wildfires we've been experiencing? Could that be playing a role as to why Vegas is empty? Take a look at this video.
Alright, we're in Vegas. This is supposed to be the city that never sleeps.
Look at that.
But there's like literally no one around here at all. And on all of our walks pretty much tonight, we've seen nobody.
Desolate.
So, I don't know. Is Vegas slowly dying out?
Now there could be a ton of factors as to why Vegas looks like that. But I would love to hear from you in the comments as to why Vegas is dying. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Hold up, Seekers. Let me cook right now, bro. I'm gonna tell you why Vegas is slowly dying out, bro. That's a simple answer, bro. Money. People, man, we don't got as much money as we did a couple years ago, bro. And everything's inflated. Everything's costs a lot more now. People don't just have that extra money to just go to Vegas and gamble with it, man. Freaking lazy, bro. You know, a freaking top streamer on Twitch. I saw his stream, bro. He lost like, didn't he say he lost like $100,000, bro? Hey, he got that type of money to lose, bro. We don't. So, there's money, bro. The most simplest and easiest of answers.
I dare you to watch this without hiding in the comments.
Those pool drains, man, used to freak me out, bro.
If that video made you uncomfortable, you're probably just like me, with a huge phobia of pool drains. There's absolutely no reason why these should exist. I know they're to drain the pool, and they're important, but they scare me, so they need to do away with them. And let's not forget about wave pool drains, and how they look like prison bars. This is sickening to look at. I have difficulty even looking at the photo. And here's another photo of the same darn thing. Don't you love it? If you've seen Final Destination, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Do not go near pool drains.
Yep.
Also, if you're scared of pool drains, you're not alone. Welcome to the club.
Here's some mysterious photos that cannot be explained. Part 3. In 1966, a former clergyman visited the historical building, the Queen's House, located in National Maritime Museum in Greenwich, England. When he believed he was alone, he decided to take the opportunity to take a photo of the famous tulip staircase located inside the home. When he developed the photo, he found out that he had captured more than just a staircase. The photo displays an unmistakable entity stretching its arms up the railing, appearing to be ascending the staircase. The photo was reportedly sent in for evaluation, to which officials confirmed that the photo had not been tampered with, meaning that this photo actually captured this ghostly figure.
This has to be Ariana Grande's handler or something, because have y'all seen the weird interactions? Not just weird interactions, she does not want anyone touching Ariana Grande. She's like full on lunging at people, moving people's arms off of her. Ariana just acts like she's a robot. She doesn't say anything, she doesn't respond, she doesn't react. Seems like this lady has Ariana under some type of possession or something. And listen, the Witch movie was, and a lot of people gonna say, oh, it was super good, but it was a witch movie. This lady openly does witchcraft. Ariana doesn't even have the same spark in her eyes. Her eyes are black. She looks like a demon. Look at this. This is somebody coming up to her and she's just like shielding Ariana Grande, but look at her face. And why is she so angry when people try to touch her? And some of you might say, oh, she's just trying to protect. No. This lady is someone we do not know about. It has a deeper connection with Ariana Grande that is not good. I mean, look at this. She's overdoing it for sure. Where's this Ariana Grande? I mean, even look at her eyes. Her eyes has a little bit more spark. They're a little bit brighter. They're not as black, just straight black, demonic black. Can you please give us Ariana Grande back, okay? We want Ariana back.
I think the reason why she did that, man, because I know y'all seen those clips that's been going around about, you know, that guy that just ran up and just like tried to hug Ariana Grande at the premiere, bro. Then they say he got like banned from a country too, so Cynthia Erivo, she was doing the freaking Cicadas job for them, man. She like, he shouldn't have never even got that close. He put his hand around her and stuff like that, so I think that's why she's so protective of her.
Finding out the horrifying truth about the rat people in Pakistan. And this is actually really, really sad. So these people that look like this are known as the rats of Shardola. You may have heard of them before, but when you realise why they look like that, it gets a lot more disturbing. But there is a deformation in the world that can cause your head to look like this. It's tragic and it's terrible, but it's not what's happened to these people. Of course, some people do have this. The people in this video most likely do. Out there, begging, literally collecting money for these gangs. They may get 1% of what they earn that day from the gangs, but they will keep the rest of it.
There has just been a huge twist in the David case, and it kind of goes against everything we thought we knew. So an anonymous LAPD source spoke to NBC4 and revealed that David has now been identified as a suspect in relation to the death of 15-year-old Celeste Rivas. But that's just one day after TMZ reported the complete opposite. They said that police weren't close to making an arrest in this case. But it gets even crazier, because according to the same source, the 20-year-old singer is reportedly not cooperating with this investigation, despite his PR team saying otherwise the entire time. Not only were Celeste's dismembered remains found in the trunk of his impounded Tesla back in September, but now investigators suspect that more than one person was likely involved in the disposal of her body. And reports also now claim that partly the reason why an arrest hasn't been made yet is because they're still trying to determine her cause of death. They don't even know if this was a homicide yet. But if that LAPD source is true, then it is not looking good for David. But of course, I'll keep you guys updated as we know more.
Keep telling y'all stop eating these processed foods. It's gonna mess around and send you to your maker. So apparently the truth about Campbell Soup is out. And allegedly they've been selling chicken that ain't chicken. You heard what I just said? The chicken that they're putting in the soup, allegedly that chicken is not chicken. Matter of fact, look at this shit. Listen to this shit.
Poor people. Who buys that shit?
You heard that?
I don't buy it. Barely anymore. So I don't think. Now that I know what the f*** is, even in a soup, I look at it, look at meat, bioengineered meat.
You hear that?
I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer.
If you heard that video, he said, allegedly, that he doesn't want anything that came out of a 3D printer. Allegedly, he said the chicken is bioengineered meat. And to top it off, he said their products are for poor people.
and that was the vice president of Campbell. That tells you everything you need to know about how they feel about you. It may look like chicken. It may taste like chicken. But you heard what he said. They're saying that rant was well over an hour long. So you know he had way more to say than that. Do what you want to do with that information. I'm out.
That's why I finally skipped for you guys, man. I'm putting you guys on, bro. Stay away from Campbell Soup, man. They said allegedly it's 3D printed meat, bro. And the fact that the freaking CEO just said, oh, it's for poor people, man. The fact that he said he wanted to eat his own product, bro. So you know, bro. That's that fake chicken, bro. Like I said, we gotta be careful what we eating, man. We can't be putting our faith into these freaking big corporations, bro. We don't know what they feeding us, man. It's time to go all natural.
Article that came out 1934 in the LA Times was called Lizard People's Catacomb City Hunted Underneath Los Angeles, California.
Shut up.
This man named G. Warren Schufelt, and he had developed this X-ray penetrating technology to where he could scan different rocks and stuff. He was in LA on this hill called Fort Moore Hill, and he drilled like 200 something feet down, stuck it down. He's like, what the heck? He's like, there's tunnels, a lot of tunnels, and really big rooms, and a lot of gold. So he went to Arizona, and he met with, his name was Little Chief Greenleaf. This Hopi elder said, what you just discovered is one of 3 lost cities along the Pacific coast. And he told about, it was this people group called the Lizard People, but they were called the Lizard People because their idol was a lizard. This was a civilization that was advanced technology-wise, that they had this chemical that they would use to basically bore out the tunnels. The Lizard People's city being amongst these certain hills that exactly line up to where this guy found the thing.
What happened to Schufelt?
They shut him down.
There's a place in Japan that has more dolls,
I think I've seen this,
than real people.
Yeah.
Nagoro Scarecrow Village.
Yeah.
Long time ago, there was a bunch of people that lived there. Small village in Japan. But slowly and slowly, people started to move out or people started to die off. And there was a woman that was so sad because she loved her area.
Yeah, I've heard of
And
this.
what happened was the school was abandoned, all of the stores are gone. So she decided to do one day, she made a scarecrow for her own farm. And she designed the scarecrow to remind her of her father. She looked at it and she's like, it touched like a special place in her because she didn't have anybody around her. So what she did, she made a scarecrow of every single person that she knew in that village.
Crazy.
And it filled the whole village with these scarecrows and pretty much dolls.
Yeah.
Look.
Yeah, I seen this one.
There's so much.
They had to fill the whole school. I remember this. Lining up to it
Yeah,
so much.
it's crazy.
The fact that she did it by herself is insane too.
I know.
Scientists discovered a bacteria that literally poops out gold. And yes, this is real. It's called Cupriovetus metallodurans. It lives in soil with extremely high concentrations of toxic heavy metals, places where almost nothing else can survive. Here's how it works. When copper and gold compounds enter the bacteria's cells together, they become more toxic than either metal alone. This triggers the bacteria's survival mechanism. The bacteria has 2 enzyme systems. The first one gets suppressed by the gold, so it activates a backup system that transforms the toxic metals into forms the cell can't absorb. But here's where it gets wild. As a side effect of this detoxification process, the bacteria converts gold compounds into pure metallic gold nanoparticles. Tiny pieces of 24-karat gold, just a few nanometers in size. The bacteria is basically taking poison and turning it into treasure just to stay alive. German and Australian researchers figured out the complete molecular mechanism in 2018. They can actually see bright yellow patches of gold accumulating in bacterial cultures under microscopes. So, can we use this for gold mining? Unfortunately, we can.
Damn.
Each bacteria produces microscopic amounts. It would cost more to harvest than the gold is worth, but it does have real value. You know, this bacteria could clean up toxic metal contamination in soil and water. It's natural bioremediation that converts environmental poison into harmless metal. When nature evolves a survival mechanism so extreme that bacteria accidentally create gold as waste, what other impossible solutions are hiding in extreme environments we haven't studied yet?
I bet you've never seen a Tesla coil do this before. Now, this is a toy one. You can plug your phone into it or a computer and play music through it. And how it works is when that lightning comes out of the tip of it, it interacts with the air like an AM radio tower and creates sound. Pretty dope. So if we replace that tip with a little wire, and that lightning can direct where the wire goes because it's force, then we can see the pattern of that sound. So what this guy did is he put this little tip on, and he had a long exposure camera, and he traced the pathway of the sound. And it doesn't look like much here, but wait until we use a long exposure camera to see the actual path.
It's a galaxy, bro.
That's ridiculous. That's sick as fuck. It's a galaxy. It's a cymatic pattern through a galaxy in a Tesla coil.
I never had a Tesla coil before. Should I get one, bro? Try the experiment?
You mean the Roblox CEO just gave us a bad update, and you are most likely not going to be able to play the game anymore. So in about 6 to 7 weeks in 2026, you are going to have to age verify yourself on Roblox. Every single player in Roblox will have to take a selfie to age verify themselves, and this is where it gets even more worse, because it will be AI deciding how old you look. So if the AI thinks that you are more younger than 13, your chat is going to be restricted, and if it guesses your age wrong, you only have 48 hours to prove your real age. And this is where it gets even more insaner. I haven't seen a way that Roblox is even going to be able to age verify you. You're going to have to get a note from like your 6th or 7th grade teacher. And the reason that they're doing this is because they don't want kids and adults talking to each other on Roblox, because there has been a lot of bad situations that have happened. However, just a few months ago, the Roblox CEO basically disregarded everything that Schlepp did. However, a lot of people are saying that there is a hack to get around this, as now some people are just tricking their mom into taking a selfie with them, and some kids are even having older kids dress up as them, so they look more older. And even more worse, where the AI keeps getting people's age wrong. Do you like this update?
It's needed.
So the CIA has declassified some documents, and these are essentially instructions of how to astral project. And it is all about the hidden superpowers inside your mind. Now this rabbit hole is deep. So the CIA have been researching different ways for you to leave your body since 1983. And they thought doing so would be great because it would be an asset to the military. In fact, they wanted to build psychic soldiers. Anyway, they have declassified this information, and it's literally a gateway for anybody who wants to give it a go. It goes on to explain that solid matter doesn't actually exist, and reality is just vibrating energies. And in terms that everyone might understand, the likes of law of attraction and manifestation is very real. Now, I dropped some documents a while back. If you go back on my videos, you'll see it. And that was all about mind codes and cheat codes. But this is some next level rabbit hole shit. If you want to get access to these documents, literally just go on the CIA's website, and in the search bar, just search for the gateway process, and you will find them all. You are welcome.
Noted.
So, a man known as Victor, who allegedly leaked one of the most controversial and mysterious pieces of UFO-related footage ever, known as the Alien Interview, has just been doxxed. So, according to UFO researcher and filmmaker Jon Stewart, the Alien Interview video is authentic. And Victor, the man who leaked it from Area 51, his real name is Stanton John Willett. Check this out.
I consulted a military insider with access to the Groom Lake entry log, who confirmed to me that an individual named Stanton John Willett was present at the base at a time between 1977 to 1991. This revelation marks a turning point in the Alien Interview investigation, bringing us closer than ever to uncovering finally, after 30 years, the full truth about Victor's identity and the origins of this footage. The pieces are finally coming together, and we remain committed to exposing the reality behind.
Yo, I seen Arizona go through it this year, y'all. Floods on top of floods, crazy tornado, hurricane-like storms, once in a lifetime derechos, whatever they're calling it. And people was just saying how sunny and calm and beautiful, clear blue skies it was out in Phoenix, Arizona, and then boom, a hailstorm comes out of nowhere. What the heck is going on, y'all? Did y'all see what it looked like when they came in? Look at this. Look at the different light sources. Look how orange it is here. You got this green, bright glow up here. Look at this. This is what came into Arizona. It looks like a whole being, huh? It looks like that big dragon-looking dog thing from the Never Ending Story. You don't even know what that thing is, a dragon or a dog. But this is exactly what it is. And this is what it turned to, y'all. Look at this. All that lightning and plasma.
I didn't know it was on.
Look like Antarctica, man. Look.
God, would it ever be a fucking snowstorm in the middle of nowhere?
Yeah, it's so rare. Why? In November too? Arizona's a desert. It's not supposed to be dropping ice from the skies like that, y'all. Y'all, this year's energy is different, y'all. The weather patterns are shifting and they are glitching in real time. Timelines blending and time itself is glitching in real time. This year's energy is different, y'all. But let me know what you guys think about this video, y'all. Y'all see the shift.
Weird ass facts that
Crazy.
I know for some reason. Most Koreans have a genetic mutation called ABCC11, which makes their sweat odorless. If you ate a polar bear's liver, you would literally die because there's way too much vitamin A for a human to handle. If you ever find yourself seeing an anteater doing this silly T-pose, get the fuck away, because that is their way of warning you that they're about to claw your eyes out. On average, around 2,195 children die from diarrhea every single day. That is more than AIDS, measles, and malaria combined. Around 95% of whale semen is dumped into the ocean during mating season. You actually have a lot more in common with gorillas than you think. For instance, the average length of a gorilla's schlong is 2 inches.
What? He just tried to cook everybody in the last... No, bro. He thinks he's funny, but he tried to cook everybody with that last fact. That ain't it. But I didn't know what the heck that South Korean... He said Koreans, they can have something that they make their sweat odorless, and that more people die from diarrhea than all those other horrible things combined. Man, the more you know, Seekers. Tap in with us, man. I'm gonna learn some facts. I would have never guessed that in a million years.
The creepiest theory is known to man. If the human body senses trauma it is unable to combat, it will switch off metabolism, pump endorphins, and slip into a pain-free dissociative state. In essence, you just shut down. Prey animals display this behavior when they're caught by predators. That's why they seem so unfazed when they're about to be eaten. If you die while being beheaded, the last thing you might see is your decapitated body. The Dark Forest theory. Why haven't we seen any other advanced life forms, despite the vastness of the universe? Other advanced life forms don't send out signals into the rest of the universe, because they're worried that something more advanced and dangerous is going to find them first. Dead-end trips. It's possible to travel so far away from where you started that the expansion of the universe will exceed the speed you were traveling at. You can't return home because home is receding faster than you can travel. You can't reach your destination because it too is receding faster than you can travel. You can no longer get anywhere, only get further away from everything. That mind control actually exists. It's something that would never go public, because whoever was able to perfect it first would be in a position to use it on whoever is aware of its existence.
These are the worst countries to get arrested. Up first is Singapore. This country has severely strict laws. You can't chew gum, spit, or even walk around your own house naked. But if you end up going there and get caught doing any of these, you'll face a fine, serious jail time, or worse. So just imagine chewing gum walking down the street, and suddenly you get arrested and get thrown in jail for 5 years. Next up is North Korea. This is pretty self-explanatory, but let me explain why. If you get arrested in North Korea, even if it's for the most minor thing, you will either be thrown in jail, a labor camp, or executed. If you so much just speak your own opinion in this country, you can be arrested and killed.
2 places I ain't going. You write that off the...
Crazy things happening in the world right now. An Indiana judge ruled that tacos and burritos are sandwiches. These beds are arriving at the Paris Olympics to stop the athletes from getting into large groups and doing adult things at night. Stoplights in Oakland are being replaced by stop signs after thieves have been cutting the signal of the stoplight for its copper wire. McDonald's is trying to get rid of free refills by removing all self-serve machines by 2032. A teenager was given a ticket for almost $1,000 because he was using his phone in the McDonald's drive-thru. Roku wants to take over HDMI feeds with ads. A parliament member in Taiwan ran away with the bill to prevent it from being passed. Journalists have been stealing President Biden's pillowcases from Air Force One. The Louvre Museum is considering moving the Mona Lisa underground to stop public disappointment. This Florida teenager says she was denied entry to prom due to her wearing a suit. Louisiana is now the first state to require the 10 Commandments be posted in every classroom.
The moment we have all been waiting for.
Thank you, Aaron. Commonwealth rest.
It took 29 long days, but we have finally gotten to the point where the Commonwealth rests its case in the Karen Read trial. 29 days to present their entire case. It would appear that the defense team says that they will only need 3 days to present their case. Now listen, I don't know how all these things come together, but I gotta feel bad to some extent for Adam Wally because this is not an easy case to win whatsoever. Now on the flip side, from his perspective, his delivery is just infuriating. It's so painful, and the style of which he approached the chronological order of this thing, which seems like it makes sense, but really shouldn't have. He should have just like come out the gate with Jen McCabe or somebody along those lines. It's just, it was a tough 29 days. But I think I'm like everybody else. Why don't we just hear it? Let's just hear it one more time, just to be sure.
Okay.
Thank you, Aaron. Commonwealth rest.
Hallelujah. Things are almost no humans to do, apart from not showing. If you can, then you're bloody weird. This is where you bend your pinky finger without moving your ring finger. And only 5% of humans can actually do this. Enjoy this video if you can do it.
Can you guys do that? Comment down below if you can.
Crazy things happening in the world right now. A woman withdrew a counterfeit $100 bill from a Wells Fargo ATM. The man who posted the dress that broke the internet admitted to strangling his wife last month. This remote tribe in South America was finally connected to the internet thanks to Elon's Starlink. Results show that the tribe has become heavily addicted to adult websites. 706 people named Kyle got together in Texas, but it wasn't enough for a world record. This veteran's wife sliced off his manhood, and now he's lost his toes thanks to toxic water. $500,000 of baby eels were seized at the Toronto airport. This woman gave herself poop transplants from her brother's feces in order to help her IBS, and then started developing acne just like his. We just discovered the largest black hole in our galaxy, and it's only 2,000 light years away from us. Bodies in Canada are going unclaimed because funeral costs are getting so expensive.
That is crazy, bro. All these crazy facts happening around the world. All these cows gathering up, and did that lady really use her brother's poop and put it on her face? What be going through people's minds, man? She really thought that was a good idea and caused that act like. Let's move on. Where's this guy? You know, they be edits.
Blood-curdling facts that you wish you never knew. Part 21. This photo shows an 8-month-old Zhao Bao who was lucky to be alive because his mother stabbed him 90 times after he bit her while she was breastfeeding him. The world's scariest haunted house, McCamey Manor, requires you to sign a 40-page waiver and undergo a physical and mental evaluation. If you manage to make it through the house, you could win $20,000. But to this day, no one has ever made it through. Roman Emperor Nero had a boy castrated, dressed him up as a bride, and married him, all because the boy looked similar to his previous dead wife. A 46-year-old man found and attacked a 13-year-old boy because the kid was killing him too many times in a game of Call of Duty.
Why the hell are North Korea now building a border wall? You see, according to new satellite images, North Korea is building something that resembles a wall in several places near its border with South Korea. It's not clear when they started this unannounced project, but as you can see, these structures were not visible in this image captured in November 2023. And although North and South Korea are still technically at war, having never signed a peace treaty, reunification of the two countries has always been the publicly stated goal of Kim Jong-un. But at the beginning of this year, for some reason, everything changed. For the first time, Kim announced that reunification with the South is no longer possible, he changed the Constitution to designate them as the principal enemy, and that if war did break out, it should reflect the issue of occupying, recapturing, or incorporating the South into its territory. He shut down 3 organizations dealing with reunification, simulated nuclear strikes on the South, called for a build-up of the country's military arsenal, held live-fire exercises near the South's territory, sent close to 1,000 balloons over the border carrying trash and feces, and then most recently becoming best friends with Putin, signing a critical partnership agreement providing for mutual help in the event of aggression against either of them. And now we've got a war. So the question is this just classic North Korea warmongering, or should the risk of escalation be taken very seriously? Would you adopt it?
Why the hell did they? Well, what's the wall for though? That's what's turning my mind. Like, what's the point of building that wall if that's your intent behind what you're really trying to do? Trying to get South Korea?
Facts that will mess with your perception of time. The last execution by guillotine in France happened after the first ever Star Wars premiered. What? The corporation Nintendo, that was formed the same year that Starry Night was painted. By Vincent van Gogh. The Roman Empire fell in 1453. And America was discovered 40 years later in 1492. Those 2 points in history are miles apart in my head. In 1861, Italy became an official country. And in 1886, Coca-Cola was invented. They were probably serving Coke at the 25-year anniversary of Italy itself. Rosa Parks and Harriet Tubman, both prominent female figures in the civil rights movement, were alive during the same time. Like for a few months, but that's still crazy. In 1686, Isaac Newton came up with the 3 laws of motion. And in 1692, the Salem witch trial started. We were doing so well with science. And then we were just like, oh no, women are witches actually.
Louisiana has just become the first state to require that the 10 Commandments must be displayed in every public school classroom. The legislation was signed into law yesterday and requires a poster-sized display of the 10 Commandments in large, easily readable font in all classrooms from kindergarten to university. Now, as you'd imagine, this law, which comes into effect in 2025, has split some opinions. Some are praising it, saying that it gives kids a moral guide and that it's not just religious text, it has historical significance. But opponents have already said that they vow to sue, saying that it violates the separation of the church and the state and it is blatantly unconstitutional. So the question is, do you think that this law is a good or bad idea?
Disturbing facts that will ruin your life. Coconuts kill more people than sharks every year. Same with cows. Vending machines are actually twice as likely to kill you than a shark is.
What?
France was still executing people via guillotine when the first Star Wars film came out. There are more fake flamingos in the world than real ones. There are more tigers in Texas than the rest of the world. There's enough iron in your body to make a 3-inch nail. Beethoven
Ooh. It's crazy about the freaking nail part. Our body produces that much iron that it makes a 3-inch nail. What the hell is going on, man? I tell you, secrets, man. Tap in with us. You gonna learn. Edit. Call out.
This is what the last 24 hours of a death row prisoner looks like. First, the inmate is woken bright and early so they can make their last phone calls to friends and family, while the equipment in the death chamber is tested, including either the gurney straps or the electric chair's components. The inmate is then given a budget of $15 to $40 for their last meal, and they eat it at around 4 p.m. But in some states, prisoners no longer get to pick their last meal at all, so they only get the usual prison food. Next, both the victim and the condemned friends and family wait in the witness room for lethal injection. The prisoner is told to lay down on the gurney and is tied down by a team. Doctors don't perform executions because this goes against their code of ethics, so a special team administers the drugs. Sometimes inmates make a final statement, then the warden gives a signal to the executioner, and as the day ends, so does the prisoner's life.
Woo. Can't imagine that job. That's known. Ostrich?
I'll tell you one thing, you definitely don't want to touch that thing. That was a highly venomous creature known as a giant siphonophore. You can't miss them. They're the longest creature in the world, getting up to 50 meters long. That's longer than a blue whale. That's half a football field. But the crazy thing is they're not even considered one creature. It's actually a colony of creatures known as zooids that move together as one unit. Some of them are for digestion, some for reproduction, and some of them for stinging. And a sting by one of them is said to be one of the most excruciating pains in the world. Their venom is also a neurotoxin, so it can paralyze the prey as well. But the craziest part is you don't even need to touch it. If anything gets too close to a siphonophore, they can fire their stingers. And their stingers will chase you because they're alive. That is one dangerous noodle. Moral of the story, if you're ever in the water and you see this thing, admire it from a distance. A really far distance. As always, follow for more facts.
Have you guys seen this video that's gone viral of this woman getting sucked into the ocean while walking on the beach with her boyfriend? So this happened on June 16th in the city of Sochi in Russia when this 20-year-old woman was walking on the beach with her boyfriend when these huge waves began hitting them. At first, it didn't seem too serious and they probably didn't feel threatened, but after a while, the waves got bigger and stronger. This poor woman is then seen being swept into the ocean while her boyfriend was able to run out. He then tries to find her, but at this point it seems like it's too late. What's crazy is that this was all caught on camera and it was reported that after 3 days she still wasn't found. This is so tragic and sad, and it's a reminder that the ocean can be unpredictable and dangerous.
Strangest facts about each zodiac sign. Part 1. Taurus. Many Tauruses are known to be stalkers. If not lurking on you in real life, while probably creeping on your Instagram story. Gemini. Geminis are known to be extremely good liars. Even catching them in the act, they'll somehow try and convince you that they didn't do it. Don't forget to like and follow for more videos.
Are those true about those signs? One's a good liar and one's a freaking stalker. What do you guys think? A few of those signs, tell me down below.
Let's take a look at 3 of the most horrific torture methods in human history. Up first we have the heretic's fork. This device was used mainly during the Spanish Inquisition. It had 2 sharp ends which were positioned pointing at the victim's chin and neck, meaning that they couldn't nod their head or fall asleep without risking wounding themselves. The victims were forced to wear the heretic's fork until they confessed to crimes that they may or may not have committed. Next up we have the brazen bowl. This torture device was a hollowed out bronze statue shaped like a bowl with enough space for a human being to fit inside. Once the victim had been locked within the statue, a fire would be built underneath, essentially baking them alive. In an ironic twist of fate, the person that invented this device would also become its first victim. Finally, we have Judas's cradle. This gruesome device was used during the 16th century. It was essentially a 3-legged stool, but instead of a seat, it had a massive wooden or metal spike. Its victims were slowly lowered down onto it until eventually it pierced their most sensitive parts. Comment which of these devices sounds the most painful to you and follow for more.
Judas Craig got it.
The last one is crazy. If you knew your mom wasn't home, but you heard somebody at your door with her voice, would you answer?
I ain't open that door.
Do you want to know who your secret crush is? It's the second person you see when you click share and more. In 1991, Philip Lewis, who we know as Mr. Mosby on Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, took a woman's life while drunk driving. His blood alcohol level was 3 times the legal limit. But since Maryland didn't have strict laws on drunk driving yet, he only served about 1 prison year and some community service. No one can comment under this video and give 0 likes. If there is a comment with 0 likes, you are the chosen one. Before we get to the last scary thing, please support this page by clicking the follow button for more interesting posts every day. 2 cops were called to a graveyard to investigate noises when they heard this. Yeah, comment below what you think that was.
They said we out.
Evil people in history. Number 10 is Saddam Hussein. We all remember Saddam. Number 9, Kim Jong-il, who is the uncle and former leader of Kim Jong-un of North Korea, and he was even worse than Kim Jong-un. Like, even though Kim Jong-un is bad, like we got to step up from Kim Jong-il. I remember reading that he once fed his family to dogs. Number 8 is Genghis Khan. The guy, you know, the Mongolia Chinese Wall, the Great Wall of China, forced everybody to do that. Number 7, Heinrich Himmler, one of the right-hand men in the Nazi Party, was just all around evil. Number 6, Pol Pot, terrible man, maybe was one of the most ruthless killers in history. Number 5, Mao Zedong, the terrible emperor of China. Number 4, Osama bin Laden, the fool who committed 9/11 and went in hiding, and then we all forgot about him until Obama was like, we're actually going to go get him now, and I was like, thank God. Number 3, Vlad the Impaler. Vlad the Impaler is the basis for the character of Dracula. His middle name was Dragula, and he was known for impaling his victims on sticks and posing them in front of the castle. Number 2, Joseph Stalin, who was the leader of Russia during World War II, and he was basically one of the most ruthless killers as well. He had concentration camps for the Russians that didn't support him, and millions of people died under him. If you like this list and want more lists about other nonsense, follow me. Leave me a comment with the most evil person in history in your book. Also follow my Instagram and fiance Samantha, who I've tagged. Number 1, I can't even say his name on TikTok, but we all know who it is. Evil Austrian mustache.
We're going to change the way you see the world. This map shows how many natural disasters there have been in the U.S. since 1953. Texas and California have by far the most, with Oklahoma there with all their tornadoes. And the lowest I found on the map was Delaware, with only 19 disasters in over 50 years. This map shows the purchasing power of $100 in every U.S. state. California, New York, and Hawaii are all less than $90, while if you want to move to Arkansas, Mississippi, it's $113. Shout out if you already live there. This is what Australia would look like if it had its own Mediterranean Sea. And if this happened in real life, there'd probably be 0 deaths, because barely anyone lives there. A super shout out to you if you live in that area. This map shows all of the counties in the United States that have subways. And I don't know if this is more of a statement on the fact that we have terrible public transportation in America, or if all the interstate highways we have is just that much of an achievement. This map shows the elevation of the entirety of Europe. And something I did not know is that the highest and lowest points in Europe are both in Russia.
This artist claims to have been cloned. Listen to this story.
Okay. I guess you originally were born in Jersey?
Yeah. Originally, my first gen. I'm a second gen now. That's why you see the celebrity births say I'm born in Toronto, but that's false. My first gen was born in Jersey. However, I was cloned by Clonate in Canada. My model number is 0112568. If anyone wants to see the registration for Clonate.
Okay. And what nationality are you?
Sicilian and Puerto Rican.
Okay. Sicilian and Puerto Rican. Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that now.
Those are my 2 genomes.
Okay.
We don't know if he's messing with us or not.
When I was cloned, they wiped a lot of memory, but when I stole the documents before escaping, I read that the mother was Puerto Rican and the father is Serbian.
People really didn't believe him until one day he went on Instagram Live.
I'm gonna tell you guys the truth. Record your screens. Home. Yo, come over here. What y'all gotta say now? You see him? We got the same tattoos, same hair, same genetic structure. Here's my phone. Go ahead. What you gotta say now? I mean, I'll wait.
I don't know if you're paying attention to some of the weirdest things that have been happening all across the country. Just yesterday, something hit Alabama, and no one is talking about it. Why? A large explosion was captured on radar in Alabama. Don't know what I'm talking about? Take a look at this. Keep an eye right over here. Tell me if you see what I see. What is that? It's definitely some type of explosion. The blue right there indicates the initial impact, followed by the orange that could depict fire of the aftermath of some type of explosion. Is there anybody in the Alabama area that can confirm if anything exploded? Let's take a quick look at it again. Right there. Watch.
Spawned out of nowhere, bro.
So, my question to you is, do you think it was some type of explosion that has not been reported for some mysterious reason? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Here's some of the most disturbing Disney theories that may actually be true. Carl was dead all along. Up is one of the most popular Disney and Pixar movies to date, loaded with laughs and plenty of entertainment. But what if there was something dark hiding behind this family-beloved movie? This theory suggests that Carl was dead all along, and his trip to Paradise Falls, aka Heaven, is his move into the afterlife. Going with this, Russell is an angel trying to earn his wings, aka the Wilderness Explorer badge. Elsewhere, Charles Muntz is a fallen angel hell-bent on dragging Carl to the underworld with his hellhounds.
I'm sorry, they've done
Weird.
what in Egypt? A tomb that was sealed for over 2,000 years was opened by scientists. In Egypt's Saqqara necropolis, a while back archaeologists unsealed an ancient sarcophagus which hadn't been touched since before Cleopatra's time. Now inside of this tomb was a mummy, along with 3 other human bodies. But the scary thing was, and the reason this caused so much divide online, is because the 3 human bodies were perfectly preserved. And they were actually inside of this red liquid in the tomb. The strange fluid actually started bubbling as soon as it hit the air, and obviously the archaeologists were like, whoa, what is going on here? Locals actually begged the archaeologists to reseal this place, thinking that it was some kind of curse, and it caused a lot of speculation on the internet, of course. As crazy as the discovery was, and they were still looking into things such as what the mummies were, why these bodies were preserved, along with other crazy discoveries such as them finding a 2,500-year-old hallucinogenic. Sign me up. It did eventually turn out that the liquid in there, this red stuff, was a mix of resin and human decomposition, basically. However, Egypt's Ministry of Antiquities never released the full analysis of what actually went on here, which of course people still speculate to this day.
This is massive. What you are looking at is believed to be the first recorded sighting in history of a leucistic Iberian lynx. Photographer Angel Hidalgo captured this footage somewhere in the Jaén Mountains in Spain, but the exact location is being kept a secret to protect it. Now at first, some were skeptical if this actually was a leucistic Iberian lynx, but local media report after analysis of the images by specialists from the Lynx Project, it has been confirmed that this is a leucistic specimen and the first officially documented in Spain and possibly the entire world. You are witnessing history right here. Not only is the Iberian lynx extremely rare with only about 2,000 in existence, but to see one that is also leucistic, which means it's got a white coat, is almost mythical.
No, because do y'all...
Man, we get some mythical lynx, bro, showing up in 2025, bro. What ad will we gonna see next, man? Tell me down below your predictions, bro.
Remember when we were saying that time has for sure sped up. There's no way that the days are the same that they were 10 years ago or 15 years ago. That time has sped up, that the days are going by in the snap of a finger. And all of us are saying, like, God has sped up the time. Like, and I made that video about God being outside of time so he can fast forward us without us being able to realize that time is actually moving fast. Well, scientists are saying that the earth is spinning faster, which is causing time to move faster. Boom, boom, boom. Science always finds a way to confirm God. Now, we all know as Christians that the globe is not spinning faster. We know what it is for real. Isn't it interesting that they try to deceive us by saying, no, it's because you're getting older. Time back. No, even when I was 22, 23, time went by slower. 24, time went by slower. As the time progresses, time goes by faster. 2025 has been the quickest year so far up until this point on record. Remember, God said that if the days were not shortened, then no flesh would be saved. And so these days are quickening, technically shortening, to take less time for Jesus to come back. Remember, it also said that if Jesus doesn't come quicker, then there will be no flesh saved. So he has to come quicker than what he was supposed to come in order for flesh to be saved. So in essence, time is moving faster. The scientists are right. They're just wrong about how it's moving faster and who's moving it faster and why. However, they are seeing the same things. So, if you are a person who believes in science and you don't believe in God, they're saying that the time moves fast as well. If you're a person who believes in God, then what we have been saying for so long, the time has been moving faster. It has nothing to do about age. The time has actually been moving faster.
What the hell is going on this planet?
You think?
According to NASA, an underwater volcano nicknamed Sharkano erupted yesterday and released mutant sharks. Now, mind you, these sharks have been living, surviving. Let me say that again. Living and surviving in that volcano, in that acidic, hot-ass water. And now they loose. It's like every day we get another movie to play with. Now, what kind of movie is this? Sharknado? So 2024, basically what you're saying is, first, the drones. Then, it's too many dens to go through. So we have mutant sharks swimming around these waters. What's next? It's another reason why I say I'm never going on no more cruises. I went on all the cruises. I'm going to go on. I'm not swimming in no nothing. I ain't going to no beaches. I'm not doing none of that.
Smart.
Because for this shit to be going on, it's something crazy. My question is scientists, people who know about this, how were these sharks surviving in those type of conditions? We wouldn't be able to survive there. Let me ask you a question. Are the sharks there? I ain't gonna say it. I'm out.
If you never wanted to go to the military, this video right here might make you want to go. Because I'm not gonna lie, it had me looking like, man, bruh, look at this shit. This is real, y'all. This is not a game.
Look like some
Even though it look like it.
Oh,
Maybe you
Halo.
wanna go play Call of Duty or Battlefield 6. Look at this shit, y'all. Watch. The helmet can see through the fucking wall. Nigga, I'm like, you can see through the wall now, fool? Let the recruiter come to me in high school and show me this. Nigga, I'd have been like, yeah, I'm signing up. What do I sign up?
There's a certain blood type. I think it's the rarest in the world. It's called Rh negative. I've never heard of it. A dialect and a language that matches and originates from nothing around Europe. Yeah. So the theory is going, are they human/alien hybrids?
If a rhesus positive and a rhesus negative parents were to have an offspring,
an Rh negative mother, her body would actually try to an Rh positive baby. How on earth could this happen? It suggests somewhere in our lineage that the Rh negatives and the Rh positives are perceived as being profoundly different. Lower than normal blood pressure, lower than normal pulse. In a number of cases, they have an extra vertebra in their back.
Are they different humans? Why do they have a different blood type? And also, one of the interesting traits of people with Rh negative blood type is they have red hair. And as we know, red hair is a mutation. It's something very, very rare. Like, you don't really find that anywhere. Now it gets even deeper, right? Okay, the theory goes even more that they're not aliens, but they're actually...
This dentist put a recording device in his patient's tooth and he took one listen and immediately called the police. Part 2. When Dr. Walker heard the recording device, he immediately broke down in tears. He could hear Julia begging for help and screaming at the top of her lungs. But as he went to go call the police, he stopped himself. Walker knew that if the police found out that he put a recording device in her tooth, he would go to jail for the rest of his life. But instead, he tracked the location by the recording device. He drove miles in the Dubai desert to find the exact location. Then Walker was forced to walk 2 miles in the scorching sun when he saw something. There was a well in the ground in the exact location that Julia was supposed to be. He climbed down 20 feet into the well and you won't believe what he saw. But first, I found a way you can make money just from walking. And I've already made 100 from my walk today, and if you want to get paid just for walking, press right here. He found a man drilling out Julia's tooth, so he punched the man in the face. Shortly after, police arrived and they arrested the man. And as it turns out, it was Julia's father.
People are now finding out what tra-la-leo tra-la-la actually means in Italian. And not only are people apologizing, but they are begging for forgiveness after saying it so many times. So for context, the Italian brain rot of tra-la-leo tra-la-la has been going super viral lately. He is literally just a shark that wears blue Nike shoes. And the Italian brain rot has to be my most favoriteest thing on the internet lately. With characters like Tum 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 Sahur, Bombadillo Crocodilo, and Ballerina Cappuccino. And people are recently finding out that Ballerina Cappuccino has to be the most biggest bop of all time. She has kids with Tum 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 Sahur, and most recently had babies with Tralaleo Tralala. But this is where it gets even more worser. After Tum Tum Sahur and Ballerina Cappuccino posted their behind the scenes video that went mega viral, people are now looking even more into the lore, and they have now found out what Tralaleo Tralala allegedly means, and it literally makes me sick to my stomach that I've been saying it this much. Now this all makes sense why Tum 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 Sahur is now running from the police, because Tralaleo Tralala really means, translated to English, it allegedly means God is a blank. Has Italian brain rot gone too far?
Can we talk?
I think it has, bro. It's a crazy thing to say, man. It was trending for that long, bro. Should I go down that freaking brain rot rabbit hole, bro? I could if the seekers wanted.
About something real quick. I'm a little nervous about this topic, not gonna lie. Let me close my blinds. Here's why y'all need to stop watching the news. Okay, so in the 1950s, the CIA started this operation called Operation Mockingbird. They would manipulate the mainstream media in order to change the American people's minds. For propaganda purposes, some journalists were threatened and blackmailed into cooperating with this project. Y'all take a look at this. All these major news networks are controlled and owned by all these big ones. So they have to do what they say. Look at this. The news is just based on the opinion of the people who control everything. And everything is one-sided. The media hated this man. Trump said he's gonna make his own social media platform where he's gonna be talking about truth because he knows about this Operation Mockingbird. So y'all be safe.
Did you know naming your kids with these names are illegal in USA?
Wait, there's actually certain names that are illegal?
Yeah, and sometimes certain names get through without the government knowing, right? But eventually they could get caught and punished. So it's illegal to name your kids like Jesus Christ, Messiah, the rate symbol, King, Queen, the number 3. Also Santa Claus, Majesty, and 1069. And parents have actually tried to name their kids these things. All these names are the names that people have tried to name their kids. It's also illegal to name your kid Facebook 07 Thor, James Bond, Monkey, Hermione, Batman, and the most hilarious one is Burger King.
What?
It's just, I mean, who's going to name their kid Burger King? They at least should have picked like McDonald's or something.
Some of these names are not banned in the whole USA. For example, King is a first name banned only in Texas. So if you are planning to be named your kid King as a first name while living in Texas, think twice. Because law says no King is a first name in Texas. And if you name your kids with these names,
with all this influx of high energy coming in, y'all, the matrix is breaking down. So reality is glitching, man. All these planes being stuck up in the air, falling out of the sky, y'all. Are those the results of this glitch? Look at this.
It's fucking cars in the middle of the What the fuck is going on?
He thinks it's his phone.
Just standing there, bro.
He's not budging at all yet. But yes, y'all, the shift is here. We're shifting in and out of realities. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Let's continue to get it. Peace in.
You're gonna wish you never heard.
Talk
Whenever
about
you take a dip in the ocean, you're basically swimming in a huge graveyard. It's been estimated that throughout history, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people have died in the ocean. And in the United States, over 1,600 people have gone missing in national parks. And just in case you needed any more nightmare fuel, here's a video of a massive huntsman spider shedding its skin. And I didn't even know that these things could do that.
Places in America where you can get murdered. Number 1, the Texas Killing Fields. The Texas Killing Fields are a stretch of highway in an abandoned oil field near Houston and Galveston, where since the 70s over 30 people have been found murdered, and none of the murders have been solved. Most of these victims were young girls and they were abducted, went missing, and were found years later dead. And people theorize that there's still an active killer in the area that's targeting women. I actually visited the Killing Fields about 2 months ago, and I went to an area behind a Baptist church where there are 4 crosses, meaning that 4 bodies were found there. Let me tell you, it is eerie out there. Look at this video clip that I took when I was there.
Yeah, brave your soul, because I will not be going there.
Isn't that just eerie? And while we were there, we went ghost hunting near those body dumping sites, and we talked about it in our podcast. So if you want to hear the full story of the Texas Killing Fields, we go through all the victims, all the murder suspects, go listen to my podcast, Murder in America. You can listen to it for free If you have an iPhone, on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, it's everywhere. It's episode number 2, The Texas Killing.
Here are some random facts that you probably didn't know.
Alright.
A company in Japan started giving employees 6 extra vacation days if they didn't smoke, and this actually led to the result of a lot of the employees quitting smoking completely. Around 67% of the Earth is under cloud cover at all times. Police radio codes like 10-4 all begin with 10 solely to allow the radio an extra second to power up, just in case the officer forgot while trying to rush. Only 19 species of mammals outlive humans relative to their size. 18 of them are bats, and the other one is the naked mole rat. Ancient Babylonians did math in base 60 instead of base 10, which is why we have 60 seconds in a minute and 360 degrees in a circle. The French waiters who went on strike in 1907 demanded better pay, more time off, and the right to grow mustaches because lower income workers were not allowed to grow facial hair back then. The mother of the young state rep who cast Tennessee's deciding vote to ratify the 19th Amendment for women's suffrage wrote her son a letter stating, quote, "Be a good boy." There is a creature called the mountain chicken, which despite its name is actually a frog. Also, female frogs regularly play dead to avoid mating with frog males.
Creepy fact.
Wow. Did not know that.
There might be a haunted Russian radio station. UVB-76 is a low-frequency radio station that's been broadcasting since 1982. No one knows where the broadcast is originating. It's mostly just a buzzing noise with the occasional Russian voice transmission. Scaphism was an ancient form of execution where you cover someone with honey, stick them in a hollow log, and allow insects to eat them alive. Babies grow mustaches in the womb that then spread to cover their entire body in hair called lanugo. The body hair keeps them warm and helps regulate body temperature. Ladybugs are known to eat their own larvae to ensure the survival of other larvae. Pigs can eat an entire human body, mostly because they'll just eat anything. There's such a thing as homicidal sleepwalking. It's also called homicidal somnambulism or sleepwalking murder.
Bone-chilling things caught on
Going
camera.
crazy.
This is a photo that was taken by a girl and her sister while at their cousin's wedding. Nothing seems to be strange or unordinary until you look closer. Between the heads of the two girls is the face of an old woman, but the sisters say that this isn't any old lady. They claim that the face of the photobomber belongs to their grandma, but the thing is, their grandma passed away years before this photo was taken. Due to their grandma's deep religious beliefs, the sisters think that their grandma wanted to pay their cousin a visit on her wedding day to congratulate her. What do you guys think? Comment below and follow for more.
We've seen weirder things before. And it's caught on camera
He was
too.
watching TV when he sees this. A man by the name Julio uploaded a horrifying video while laying on his bed just by his bedroom door. He captures this.
I might call edit on that one. It's because he's too calm for me. I see something like that in my room.
What looks like this dark humanoid figure with glowing eyes can be seen watching him. Julio explains that this figure is actually just an art project called But I Gave You My Heart.
That's freaky.
As artistic as something might be, having this staring at you at night is sure to cause some nightmares.
This is one of the strangest unsolved mysteries of all time. In 1952, 9 Russian hikers who were all super experienced set off into the Ural Mountains. However, the path that they chose to take on the hike was pretty hard, even for hikers as experienced as them. And to make things worse, they ran into a severe snowstorm that night. So all 9 of the hikers decided to set up their tents and try and wait out the storm. However, at some point during that night, the hikers cut open their tents from the inside and set off into the snowstorm. All 9 of them began to head towards some trees that were nearby their campsite. And this is where the story gets really creepy. A few days later, 3 of the 9 campers were found dead in the trees. And at the base of these trees, there were a bunch of claw marks and scratches on the trunks. And the 6 other hikers were also all found dead, scattered around the area. And upon testing them, their skin and clothes appeared to be radioactive.
Whoa. We're
places.
So if you guys want to learn about a creature that's actually scarier than the Native American skinwalker, a lot of you have not heard of this, and is actually believed to be the reason why so many people go missing in the national forest. Check this out. Let me know what you think, and let me know if you have actually heard about this. Alright, so unfortunately, the original origins of the flesh gates, as what are these creatures called, are not known. A lot of people believe that they're cursed spirits, evil spirits, or an unknown cryptid that we haven't discovered. And they like to wreak havoc, and actually people, when they encounter these, most people don't survive to tell the tale. They are also shapeshifters, and unfortunately for a lot of us that live in the United States, they have been sighted in national forests where a lot of people go missing and disappearing without a trace. So one of the things that we are warned through Native Americans is never to whistle when you're out in the woods, and there's a reason for that. This particular creature actually is attracted to people when they're whistling out and about in the woods. So in general, they are predatory against humans, and many believe that they lure people by attracting you and calling you by name or trying to mimic somebody you actually love. Let me know if you want to learn more about these in part 2.
Skinwalkers, man, they
The
have
group you are
different
looking
origins.
at has no idea that this photograph is about to go down as one of the most disturbing photographs in history. In Croatia, a group of friends went hiking and they were taking pictures together and just having fun. But when they looked in the background of one of the photos, they noticed something extremely disturbing. In the background of the photo, there's this tall, mysterious person just standing behind them in the woods. When the group was asked about this photo, they said there was nobody else around at the time of taking it. This photo was analyzed by people and they determined that the photo was never tampered with. But here are a few possible explanations. I think the first explanation is this is just a bunch of trees together, and from afar it kind of looks like a person. Now hear me out. I think the second explanation for this is just the back of a man peeing. Like if I zoom in, just imagine if you were standing in the woods and you were peeing and this is the back of him. The final one is this is the very first picture we've ever gotten of Slender Man. I don't know what I would do if that happened. Make sure to like and follow for more videos tomorrow.
Going with the second theory. That sounds more likely. Nice edit. Slender Man turned into a damn freaking fly or
A
something.
24-year-old mukbanger just died after her stomach ripped open on live stream. This was also a 10-hour live stream. It was very lengthy, and she was consuming a lot of things: cake, chicken, everything, you name it. She was a Chinese woman by the name of Pan Xiaoting. She died last week from a stomach rupture on the live stream after consuming over 15 pounds of food. The autopsy report suggested that her stomach literally ripped open because there was a lot of undigested food in there and the stomach was distended. This was not the first incident either. She was hospitalized a few months ago for her stomach bleeding for the same thing, eating a lot of food on live stream. And it's sad too, because even her parents are begging her to stop. A lot of mukbang culture has become a little toxic. The more outrageous it gets, the more viewers, these people get and the more money they make. It kind of incentivizes them to destroy their bodies in this way. I really feel for this young girl and her family. It's just so sad. Hopefully other mukbangers see this and they take this as like a warning. Just be more careful. Your stomach can literally rupture. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, these videos are for informational purposes only.
This is why...
To me, like, it gets to a point, dude. It's like, I don't care how much money coming in, man. I ain't destroying my body for it. Health is wealth. That's what people be saying to me, so I wouldn't do that. There's no amount of money you can make. I could be making to have me destroy my body.
You should always lock your doors. A junior in high school was home alone working on a paper while his parents were out to dinner. All night he sits with his back to his door, sitting at his desk with his noise-canceling headphones on. Around 11 o'clock, he takes his headphones off at the same time his parents are returning to the house, and he hears his mom from downstairs yell, "Hey Adrian, what happened?" Confused, he runs downstairs and sees right away what she's looking at. Muddy footprints all over the rug. He tells her, "I didn't leave my desk." And then they realize someone must have broken in. They look at the footprints and there's none leaving the house. They're worried someone's still in the house. They run into the garage, terrified, call the police. Police arrive and they don't find anyone in the house, but they do make a chilling discovery upstairs. The police bring them to the kid's bedroom door, which had been left open all night, and they point to the message written on it in Sharpie. This is the actual transcript of what was written on his door. Which means for nearly 2 hours, someone stood in this kid's doorway watching him.
That's why I don't win those
Top 5 most
cancellations.
dangerous animals in the world. Coming in at number 5, we have the assassin bug, also known as the kissing bug because it's known to bite people on the face. People who are bitten by an assassin bug often contract Chagas disease, which can be deadly to humans. These bugs kill upwards of 12,000 people every single year and can be found in the southern half of the United States. At number 4, we have freshwater snails. Now I know what you're thinking. How can a snail be one of the most deadly animals on Earth? Freshwater snails can have parasitic worms on them, which can get people sick from a disease called schistomiasis, which causes severe pain in the abdomen area. Anywhere between 20,000 to 200,000 people every single year die of this disease, making freshwater snails the 4th most deadliest animal on the planet. Like and follow for the top 3.
Blood-curdling facts that you wish you never knew. Part 8. Pigs will eat literally anything. There are stories of pigs entering farmhouses and eating newborn babies. Speaking of babies, doctors believed that they didn't feel pain until 1987. So they would operate on newborns without anesthesia. Whistling was a way in which people would summon demons in ancient times. In 1968, every single TV in America shut down for 25 seconds, and there was a sound broadcasted on all of them that many believe was the devil's voice. People born deaf with schizophrenia often see disembodied hands signing them as opposed to hearing voices. A mysterious skeleton only 6 inches long was discovered outside a ghost town in Chile. It was declared to be human and lived for as long as 8 years.
That looks like an alien skeleton. So small.
Let's see if you knew more of these fun facts than I did. There has never been a U.S. presidential divorce. I did not know that one. O.J. Simpson's car chase was Domino's Pizza's busiest day of all time. I also did not know that one. A classmate of Anne Frank named Theo Koster and his wife invented the Guess Who board game. Definitely did not know that. That's so random. LeBron James and Steph Curry were born at the same hospital. I did know that one because I'm an NBA fan. Pope Francis worked as a nightclub bouncer in Argentina. Definitely did not know that one.
He did?
Cool Whip, Tang, and Pop Rocks were all invented by the same man. How would I even known that one? SOS doesn't actually stand for anything. It is just a distinguishable Morse code message. I did not know that. Ukrainian President Zelensky voiced Paddington Bear in the Ukrainian versions of Paddington and Paddington 2. I think I knew that one, so I'm going to give myself that. Did you beat me?
I did not know that one.
Never hire a stranger for a kid's birthday party. And if the photo's not bad enough, the mystery behind it is so much worse. And a reminder before I dive in that if you like all things spooky and true crime, check out my podcast. There's a link to it in my profile. So in the 1940s, the McLaren family in Houston, Texas was having a birthday party for their daughter, Rose. They hired a clown for the party, but an hour before the party started, they get a call from the company saying that the clown they hired was no longer available. They were going to send someone else in his place. And the parents were like, okay, fine, whatever. But then this man shows up to the party. And the kids are all terrified of him. No one really wants to take photos. The man stayed at the party for about 20 minutes and then just disappeared. But get this. After he left, the clown that they hired showed up to the party. And he apologized for being late. And the mother is like, what are you doing here? You canceled on us. And the clown's like, no, I didn't. And it was at that moment that one of the parents noticed that this little boy pictured here was missing. The little boy was never found, and the identity of this man remains a mystery even today.
Be careful, man, who, I guess, you hiring for these kids' parties. You never know, man, who's out there plotting. We just saw.
These are the world's most haunted dolls. Starting at number 4, Letta the doll, a 200-year-old wooden doll with human hair. She was discovered beneath a house in Australia. Kerry Walton, the caretaker of this doll, witnessed many strange things ever since he took her inside his home. Marks on the floor, objects mysteriously moving, and strange noises at night. Number 3, Okiku. This doll was purchased by a young man in 1918 in Japan as a gift for his younger sister. Tragically, after a year, the little girl passed away from a severe case of the flu. Sometime later, the family noticed something off about the doll's hair. It was originally short, and it has grown past its shoulder. Until this day, the doll's hair is maintained on a regular basis because it never stopped growing. Number 2, Annabelle. Known for its infamous movie releases and stories with Ed and Lorraine Warren, we do know that this doll is possessed by something that is evil, and whoever held this doll suffered from many bad things. Therefore, the doll is now stored in the Warren Museum, safe and sealed. But Annabelle is not the most haunted doll, because coming at number 1, Robert. Robert is not an ordinary doll. This thing is sinister. This doll is possessed by a demon, and it speaks to children. In Florida, in the early 1900s, this doll was gifted to a young boy named Robert Eugene, and his parents always used to hear Robert and his doll speak in the bedroom alone, and the family used to hear the voice of the doll respond. Eugene kept his doll till 1974 until he passed away at an old age. No one knew why this old man kept his doll for more than 70 years. After his death, Robert was given to the East Martello Museum. Visitors who have taken his picture without permission claim to have experienced terrible misfortune. If you visit Robert in the museum, you will see that this doll is surrounded by apology letters, and also other letters, like permission to look at him. And no one dares to take a picture of Robert.
This is why you shouldn't trust dolls. A mother by the name Haley Moore enjoyed collecting a series of realistic-looking dolls as a hobby. And after giving one of the dolls to her daughter, it's late at night when suddenly she hears her daughter screaming for help. What the cameras capture is horrifying.
What the? Where the mom at? His scream, that should be sending the signals out to the mom. Oh crap.
Let's go.
He just left the door. Throw it in the trash, man. I don't know why he left it in the room.
Her daughter can be seen playing with her toys as a toy seemingly lures her, then something pulls her under the bed. Immediately after discovering this, Haley moved her daughter to another room and kept that room locked.
I found out that people that have lived here have had some ghostly encounters. Was built near, not on, but near a cemetery.
But after many comments begging her to look under the bed, she does so and captures this.
Let me get monster under the bed vibes. That old folklore. It's clear so far. Oh, what the?
The doll she was playing with can be seen moving on its own.
That doll is plastic. That doll is stuffed. There's no way that thing should have moved like that.
What exactly pulled Haley underneath her bed? Paranormal or not, I'll let you decide.
Eyeballs purple and blue, now I'm going blind. I was just going to get one eye tattoo at first because I thought that if I go blind, at least I've got the other one. I should have stuck with that. Well, there's a picture right there. That's what her eyes look like. And she has face tattoos. You know, I was gonna say, like, what happened to the good old-fashioned face tattoo? But then here's my answer right here. Oh, look, there's a picture of her eyes swollen after it. Oh, couldn't imagine a needle going into the white of my eye. Just can't. I don't even know how someone can even do that.
Like, why would somebody want to get their eyeballs tattooed? I understand. Hands, arm, neck, face, but your eyeballs, that a needle going into your cornea? That ain't it for me.
Tattoo removal gone wrong.
Damn, man. What they do? Are they scratching the arm?
Can you hold my camera right here? It's right there. Yep. Perfect.
It's supposed to be a jellyfish?
Look at that. It's literally as big as my finger. Look at that.
They're in the itching stage.
Memphis, have you ever
Damn.
had to stop in the middle of a tattoo?
I was tattooing one of my clients, and he was kind of a roughneck guy. You could tell that he's seen some things. He was kind of just telling me stories, talking up his life as I was tattooing him. Halfway through our tattoo session, my dad's client stood up, turned around, and informed the man that he was a police officer and detained him. As it turns out, he heard enough of our conversation, just eavesdropping, to recollect that he was one of the people that was a person of interest in a case that they were actively investigating. So that guy, unfortunately, was detained with a tattoo that will never be finished.
Aaliyah, have you ever had to stop in the middle of a tattoo?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't want this to sound mean or like I'm judging because I'm not, but sometimes tattoos really hurt. I've had to stop before and tell someone, like, maybe you should try numbing cream next time.
So, a person got caught in 4K, man, because he wanted to talk about what he was doing at a tattoo shop. I guarantee he did not expect a police officer to be there, man. Mid tattoo? That ain't getting finished, bro. That's wild. Dang, what did they be doing to make it peel that bad? Or is it the needles? Fun fact, I don't have no tattoos. And seeing these videos, it's making me skeptical, bro.
Put a finger down if you went and got a tattoo on your birthday and the tattoo artist spelled the word wrong on your body. Yep, that happened to me. He spelled the word wrong on my body. Story time, everybody. On my birthday in October, I went and got the word that says divine. Now, homegirl spelled divine instead of D-I-V-I-N-E. It was D-E-V-I-N-E. And I got a text later that night. It's like birthday dinner time. And she's like, I don't know how to tell you this, but I tattooed the word wrong on you. I was honestly laughing, but like, you know when you're so like in shock that you're like nervous laughing? That was me. She spelled it wrong. She fixed it by adding, like, you see the circles? Added a little circle. She like looped it because it wasn't looped. And she added a little dot to it. And then she gave me a free tattoo. So I got the word faithful. But literally, I got the word divine tattooed wrong on me. And let me tell you how this happened. I didn't get this tattoo in the actual studio. I got it at this pop-up event they were doing where like 3 companies came together. They were doing bracelets, tattoos, and smoothies. All companies owned by females to help support the girlies. Since it was a little pop-up shop, you can only pick from the tattoos provided off of the little list or sheet that they had. She had pre-printed stencils that said divine. So she placed it on her body and was like, and because of like where it is, like I looked at it upside down and I was like, oh yeah, that looks good, you know? And she's like, do you like the placement? I said, yeah. So like, I didn't really like looking at it upside down. It looked fine to me. And then I went and looked in the mirror and kind of looked from afar and I was like, oh, that looks cute. I like it. Anyways, like, to me, especially if like the stencil's pre-printed, like how is that on me? So anyways, she said that all of her stencils were wrong. So like I was the only person that got that word tattooed, but she had like several flashes that were happening that day, and all of those flash divine tattoos were wrong. So if anyone else would have gotten that tattoo, they would have gotten it wrong too. So that's how that happened. But because it was like a special event, I guess it was missed.
Allie, what's one?
How did she? How did she have all the flash wrongs, man? See, that's what happens, bro. When you be getting those tattoos, I guess those free tattoos. Always bound for a mistake to happen.
Tattoo you're never gonna do ever again.
It's safe to say I don't think I'll ever tattoo somebody's stepmom's feet on them. That was a wild ride.
Aaliyah, what's one tattoo you're never gonna do again?
Probably not another stupid forehead tattoo.
Donnie, what's one tattoo you're never gonna do ever again?
This might be a good time for the cautionary tale of Gentle Gary. Gentle Gary was a guy that used to hang out at the tattoo shop. One day he comes in and he wants this tattoo on his chest that says, "Do not resuscitate." Well, he was kind of the kind of guy that gets that kind of tattoo, so I did it. Well, fast forward about 3 weeks, maybe a month later, I wake up one day and I've got like 64 missed calls, missed texts. It wasn't him, it was someone that was in his family that was trying to get a hold of me. Someone texted me that Gentle Gary had to go to the hospital. They saw the "do not resuscitate" and had to make a call whether or not that was a joke or that was serious, and they were trying to get a hold of me to verify. Finally, someone answers the phone, and it's Gentle Gary, and he sounds really groggy, and I'm like, "Dude, what the hell is going on? Are you okay?" And he says, "Dude, I was just trying to play a joke. We stayed up as long as we could to wait for you to pick up, but you never did, and then my phone died." So the lesson is never tattoo Gentle Gary. Don't mess with the "do not resuscitate" tattoos. It's too serious to make a joke out of it.
Looked so bad like dry glue. So I used this natural gel.
Did it work?
Is it going to be okay, or is it ruined?
I think it's cooked, bro.
This is a
She
new
said, "No, I'm
tattoo.
good."
It's called "Your Skin is Melting" tattoo. How does it feel?
Terrible.
My God, those are blisters.
I don't know what tattoo artist responsible is, but they should know their limitations, and they don't. They should know their limitations, because they did good with the cross. They should have told him no when he said we're going to take the cross all the way up to the top of the back of his head. He should have said, "Nah, I'm not doing that, but I got you with a cross on your back." He did real good with the cross. But when it comes to people, who is that right there? Who is this person supposed to be right?
I think we all know who that's supposed to be. Yeah, but I don't think faces are his forte.
Because I know that who is supposed, I think it's supposed to be. I know they ain't supposed to be old Jose Cristo. I know it is not supposed to be Jesus. I know this ain't who it's supposed to be. Cause sir, this a whole nother I can't say exactly what I think is wrong with this person. But I will say it do like Matt Stafford. That do look like Matt Stafford.
Oh, he's cooking up, bro.
Yeah, that's Matt Stafford. Quarterback used to be with Georgia. Yeah, that's him. They gotta be him. Or either it's somebody else.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh no, it's like that frog that gives birth out of its back. Oh my. That is. Oh no. Oh, the infection, the reaction, the holes in your leg from this black ink. Oh god. Oh, it's disgusting. Oh, I hate it. Makes me feel so sick. I have to stop it. I have to stop it. No, I feel sick. 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 Those holes in the leg. Oh, invasion of the body snatchers. Very botfly burrowing into the skin. Get to a doctor, please. Get some antibiotics. What is going on here? Reaction, ink, infection, death.
I got a tattoo on the roof of my mouth and instantly regretted it. Getting a tattoo seemed like a cool idea until it turned into my worst nightmare. 5 days after getting it, I started running a dangerously high fever and had uncontrollable chills. The pain in my mouth was unbearable, and nothing I did made it better. Then I blacked out at home because my fever got so high my mom panicked and called 911. I had never felt so sick in my life. My whole body was shaking. And the first genuinely thought that was it for me. As soon as I got to the hospital, they admitted me and ran a bunch of tests. The very first test confirmed it had a severe bloodstream infection. I started taking medication, thinking was finally on the road to recovery. But my nightmare was just beginning. The area where I got the tattoo started turning black, and the pain was excruciating. I couldn't even drink water or anything. That touched it felt like torture. And just when I thought things couldn't get worse, the doctors came in with my final diagnosis. It was the worst news I had ever received in my life.
Alright, so I'm gonna tell you guys.
Why would you get a tattoo on the root of your mouth? This should be, man. People don't understand limits, man. Like I said, hand, legs, neck, face is one thing, but when you start going to your eyes, inside your mouth, that's taking it to a whole nother level, man. I couldn't even do it. Imagine a tattoo artist when somebody asks for a tattoo like that.
How I ended up with an infected tattoo that bad, now that it's covered and all good, and what it was like having it. So the first day I got it done, it actually didn't look so bad. Like, it was a pretty nice tattoo. Now, I've healed a lot of tattoos in my life. Now, the place I went, they are a clean shop. They do have clean practices. I will say infections can happen to anyone, and it can be either the artist or the client's fault. In this case, it happened within the first 48 hours, which indicates that it was actually part of the application of the tattoo. So next day, tattoos are a little painful. That's normal. However, it was fucking excruciating for me, and the next day, fucking excruciating. Like, if I put my hand down, it was really, really painful, and I noticed that it should stop leaking plasma after the first night, and it was continuously leaking plasma. I'm like, there's something a little off about this. After about 4 or 5 days, when it wasn't healing at all, I went and got antibiotics. Now, I started taking these oral antibiotics, and they did absolutely fucking nothing. About 5 more days later, my boss and my fiance convinced me to go to a hospital, which is when they put me on an IV antibiotic. This was about 3 days into the original antibiotic that I was taking. So I'm at the hospital, they put me on an IV, they look at it, and I explained to them that I literally had washed it with an antiseptic cleanser. I was using Pure Sand, which is all chlorhexidol-based cleansers that are meant for healing tattoos. I was washing it, I was keeping it clean, I was patting it dry, I was using a fresh, clean paper towel to clean it, I wasn't applying heavy amounts of cream. Like, I've healed a lot of tattoos and know what I'm doing. And they're like, okay, well, it definitely was in the application because this infection is like under your skin. Then they sent me to an outpatient clinic, and then they put me on an at-home IV for 2 days, and then that followed up with another, like, probably 2 weeks of antibiotics, and my body was fucking shot after that. My hair started falling out. A few of you were asking why I didn't get it done by Steve in the first place. Now, the sleeve was started 10 years ago. I was trying to have the original artist finish the tattoo, but after this, and then bumping appointments around so much that it took me 10 years to get a fucking sleeve, I was just really, really done with the whole process, to be honest. So I'm like, hey Steve, you're gonna have to fix this. And he's like, well, let's figure out what caused it in the first place. And we were kind of narrowing it down. I went through the whole process of getting tattooed, what happened, and we basically narrowed it down to either contaminated ink or contaminated wash water. Basically, a lot of artists use distilled water. Now, distilled water can sit on a shelf for a very long time. There's no regulations on it, and distilled does not mean sterile. So there could be bacteria growing in there and growing resistant bacteria inside that water bottle, transferred to a wash bottle, goes into the skin. Contaminated ink. Where I'm from, you have to label the day that you open your inks, and they're expired 1 year after. Where I got the tattoo, which is in a different province, that's not a regulation, and I know that that shop is a communal ink station, and all the artists use the ink. So if one of them fucked it up without really realizing it, I was the one that suffered the consequences. And the last time she had tattooed me with that color, I had a bit of a rough heel. So basically, pretty sure it was the ink that had just kind of been contaminated, that bacteria continued to grow, causing me to get an infection and end up in a hospital. And that's the story of my fucked up clam.
Times where FaceTime.
Man, it's like it's so many small things, bro, that can mess up a tattoo, man. They was using distilled water, the ink. Like she said, she was breaking it down for us, man. But it was like, it was a group of artists using it, so I guess it was like a pool of them. If one person mess it up, then it'll mess up everybody's. And she paid. And I guess that's what happened to her tattoo, man. These are some wild stories.
tattoos went horribly wrong. I'd like to introduce you to a girl named Kimberly Vermack, better known as the Starface. Now, Kimberly always wanted tattoos, so on her 18th birthday, she ended up going to the closest tattoo shop and requesting 3-star tattoos on the left side of her face. She spoke with the tattoo artist, came up with the design, and then they got the tattooing. Now, she claimed that she fell asleep during the tattoo process just to wake up to find 56 stars tattooed on the left side of her face. Devastated, she ended up suing the tattoo artist for $14,000 for her laser tattoo removal. However, an investigation started and they found out that there were some inconsistencies with Kimberly's story. She ended up confessing, saying that she liked the look of the 56 stars tattooed across her face, but ended up blaming the tattoo artist once her father found out and negatively said things about her tattoos, leaving her with a face full of stars. Look, this story right here is a perfect example to always think before you ink. Now, what do you think about this story? Leave a comment below, and thank you so much for watching.
Hello and good morning. Today is a really exciting day for me. Just a little tiny warning that if you're like squeamish, maybe this isn't the story time for you. In 2011, I was living in Jacksonville, Florida, where I was born and raised, and I got tattooed by a certain person, male, that if you are familiar with Jacksonville, Florida, and the tattoo scene, you probably know who I'm talking about, so I'm not going to really blast it up too much, but this person has since been convicted of some pretty awful crimes against women. And at the time I was getting tattooed, I was on my second session, and according to some other people that were in the shop at the time, he was touching his iPhone and then with his gloved hand and then like touching my back to tattoo me. So bad vibes all the way around. He's just yuck and like a horrible person. And I didn't know how to stand up for myself at the time. Doesn't really matter. Long story short, I developed a cyst in my back in the middle of the tattoo that stayed there for 9 fucking years. During the time, I saw a couple of different dermatologists. They all said that they were uncomfortable with getting the cyst out because they knew it would mess up the tattoo. I really didn't care, but no one I could find would actually remove the cyst. So about 3 years ago, while I was just driving my car, I leaned back into the car seat and the cyst exploded everywhere. So now I have a big old hole in my back in the middle of my tattoo. I'm going to show you a picture from far away. It's on this side, and then I'll zoom in close for anybody who wants to see it. But it's right there. You can kind of see there's a little hole in my back. Okay, now I'll do one just a bit closer up in case you want to see it close, but obviously I understand if you do not. It is right there, obviously. And I do have pictures of when it exploded, but y'all are still eating breakfast. I ain't going to do that to you.
Thank you.
So yeah, I'm heading to the dermatologist today. They're going to be doing a punch excision, I think is the name of it, but it doesn't really matter. They're going to be closing that hole up. And then in a couple of months, I'm hoping to go see my girlfriend Selena, who is in Charlotte. She's an amazing tattoo artist who actually kind of was one of the main people that exposed this asshole back when it happened. And I just want to close this chapter. Really excited. And yeah.
So my mom decided to get a tattoo.
Wow.
She'd been talking about it for years. She loves horses and she wanted to get a horse tattoo. However, she didn't know if she just wanted to get like the side profile or its face or the whole body. She was undecisive. Well, then she finally decided, I'm just going to get a full body horse tattoo. So I took her down, dropped her off. 12 hours later, I get a phone call from the tattoo artist. He's concerned because my mother had changed her mind. And I'm like, okay, what do you mean she's changed her mind? You've had her for 12 hours, so what did she change? Apparently, she wanted 5 horses.
What?
Now, when I heard my mother say that she wanted full body horse tattoo, I'm thinking the full body of the horse. But this man who's doing her tattoo says no, she wants her full body tattooed of 5 horses. And I really couldn't argue with her because he had already done it. 5 full body horses on my mother's full body. She's 80. How is that even going to look? Well, let's go down and check it out, shall we? Well, it actually looks pretty good, Mom.
Thank you so much for your support and watching.
Okay.
Please comment, like, and subscribe if you like the content.
and we will catch you on the next video. Bye, guys.
Most dangerous kid in the entire world, part 2. Raquel opened up the oven and saw her 19-month-old baby with burns all over her body. The child wasn't moving or breathing at all. They called the ambulance, but it was already too late. They lost their child. There were no charges against the 3-year-old, but the parents got child endangerment and they actually got their kid taken away by foster care. The worst part about this is their grandmother actually lived in the same apartment building and could have been avoided if she just would have babysat them.
Why didn't she?
Disturbing facts that will ruin your day. There are between 25 and 50 active serial killers in the United States at any given time, according to the FBI. If you live a full life, you're going to have shed over 100 pounds of your skin. Cruise ships are legally required to have morgues for the passengers that inevitably will die on each trip. A Nightmare on Elm Street was inspired by a true story. A boy was having disturbing nightmares and refused to sleep for multiple days. The same night that he succumbed to exhaustion, he died in his sleep, but not before screaming for help in the middle of the night because of his nightmares. If you try to grab the brain in its natural state, it will fall apart. When you see scientists pick up a brain, it's because they've used chemicals to harden it. There are still 40 million people worldwide that are slaves. 3 in 4 of those are women, and 1 in 4 are children. Follow for more.
We gotta solve that, man. That's unacceptable.
This is why you should always lock your doors. A junior in high school was home alone working on a paper while his parents were out to dinner. All night he sits with his back to his door, sitting at his desk with his noise-canceling headphones on. Around 11 o'clock he takes his headphones off at the same time his parents are returning to the house, and he hears his mom from downstairs yell, "Hey Adrian, what happened?" Confused, he runs downstairs and sees right away what she's looking at, muddy footprints all over the rug. He tells her, "I didn't leave my desk." And then they realize someone must have broken in. They look at the footprints and there's none leaving the house. They're worried someone's still in the house, so they run into the garage, terrified, call the police. Police arrive and they don't find anyone in the house, but they do make a chilling discovery upstairs. The police bring them to the kid's bedroom door, which had been left open all night, and they point to the message written on it in Sharpie. This is the actual transcript of what was written on his door, which means for nearly 2 hours, someone stood in this kid's doorway watching him.
That's why I don't wear those noise cancellation headphones.
Here's why you should stop rubbing your eyes.
That was no joke. You seriously need to stop rubbing your eyes as much, and here's why. Trust me, you might want to favorite this video because you might need this as a reminder in the future. Let's be honest, we're all guilty of this at some point. But I bet you didn't know that continually rubbing your eyes can actually cause really bad damage to your cornea. In fact, it can thin out your cornea, causing it to bulge. I mean, let's go back to the MRI footage. This is someone rubbing their eye, visibly being able to see the pressure it puts on your eye, and the way that the eye can actually change shape, increasing the pressure on your eye by 20 times. And it gets worse if you rub your eyes with your knuckles or the back of your hand. So although the occasional rub probably won't do you any harm, consistently doing it and consistently doing it hard could lead to potential vision loss. So send this to literally anyone you know, because for their eyes' sake, they need to see this. Elon!
Noted, man. I be, rubbing mine sometimes all the time. I'm a victim too, especially using my knuckles, so I didn't know it could make
The two brothers who took their parents' lives 35 years ago may now have an opportunity to be released this year. In 1989, Eric and Lyle Menendez took their parents' lives, Jose and Kitty Menendez, inside their home in Beverly Hills. The brothers were convicted of first-degree murder and were given life sentences without the possibility of parole. But the thing that has a lot of people questioning whether this was fair or not is the amount of evidence they have against their father, showing that he essayed them growing up. Their father, who was an executive in the entertainment industry, had a lot of power, and Eric and Lyle were terrified of him. They were essayed by their father from a very young age until they were teenagers, and they even told their mother, but nothing was ever done. After taking their parents' lives out of fear, new evidence was revealed that their father also drugged and Ard, a 13-year-old boy named Roy Rosello, who was part of a popular Puerto Rican singing group called Menudo at the time. What I find so surprising about this is the amount of support Eric and Lyle have received from family members on both sides who truly believe them and are calling for justice. But on the other hand, there seems to be a conflict of interest. An attorney named Kathy Katie was just appointed to be the new director of the Bureau of Victim Services, which makes no sense because she's also the lawyer for the only family member of the Menendez brothers who strongly believes that Eric Eric and Lyle should stay in prison for the rest of their lives. Many people believe that the brothers were not given a fair chance during their trial and deserve to be resentenced, which could now potentially happen at a hearing on March 20th. If you guys want to support Eric and Lyle's resentencing, you can share this post with the hashtag Justice for Eric and Lyle or email the DA through the website's form and tell them you support resentencing.
Here's what your birthmark actually says about your past life. If you have no birthmarks, this means you died of natural causes in your past life or you're a new soul. If you have a red birthmark anywhere on your body, this is a sign that you burned to death in your past life. If you have any skin impressions that look like this that's caused by acne or smallpox, that's where you've actually been wounded in your past life, and serves as a reminder from issues in your past life that you've come to the present to heal. If you have a spot anywhere on your eye, this is most likely a spear wound from your past life where someone most likely killed you while you were sleeping. If you have a birthmark on your head somewhere, and especially if you can't grow hair through it, this means you were probably killed by scalping, which is when someone cuts off all the hair and skin around your head before killing you. And if you have a birthmark like this with a dark center and a light ring around it, it's a sign that you were hit with a poison arrow in your past life.
Here are the creepiest things kids have ever said. And before I tell you these, I feel like I'm obliged to say, I'm so sorry. First up, we've got monster under the bed. One night, a young girl couldn't sleep because apparently there was something under her bed. When her parents came into the room to say go back to sleep because there's nothing under her bed, she replied with, I know. He's behind you now. Like, I'm sorry. Next up, a 4-year-old girl was found in the bathroom by her mum with all of her Barbies. But she was making them float face down in the bath. When the mum asked what she was doing, she replied with, the man in the wardrobe told me if I didn't do it, it would be my turn to swim face down. Next up, a 3-year-old boy was softly singing in a room while colouring in a picture. His mum actually stopped to listen because she'd never heard the song before. When she asked where he learnt it, he said the lady in my bedroom sang it to me. And finally, a 5-year-old asked his mum when he was going to be 23. His mum said in 18 years' time, and he replied with, well, I hope I don't die again, as that was how old I was the last time I went to heaven. Tell me which story made you go, what the fuck, the most, and share this with a friend to just creep them out because you're a good person. Now everyone with me.
A case that makes me sick. The murder of Kenneth White. These 5 teenagers was throwing rocks from an overpass. Eventually, one rock hit the windshield of White's car and hit his face.
Why they do that, man?
You should never swim in any of these places. Number 1, the River Ganges in India. Thousands of people swim here every year, but it's one of the most polluted places on the planet. It has over 3,000 times the amount of unsafe chemicals. And to make matters worse, bodies are even dumped in the river. Number 2, Lake Berisa in California. The reason you should never swim here is because there is a massive spillway inside the lake. This is to make sure the water doesn't rise too high. People and animals have been swept into this spillway, making it a very dangerous place. Number 3, Lake Karach in Russia. Its amazing blue color attracts many tourists. But what they don't realize is that it's the most polluted lake on the planet. When the Soviet Union were making nukes, they dumped all their nuclear wastes into this lake. If you ever swam in this lake, you'd only be alive for about 30 minutes. Number 4, the boiling lake in Dominica. Underneath this boiling lake is red magma, and the lake's water is at 100 degrees Celsius. Sophomore?
Okay, man. That goes to show you, bro. Like, on the surface, those leaks, like I said, some of those, man, leaks, they look freaking beautiful, but they're deadly, man. Beauty kills. I can't believe it, especially 2 of those leaks, man. They just look like regular leaks, man. You never
Worst
know.
torch techniques in the entire world that you will wish I never told you about. It's part 4, boys. This is known as white room torture, and once again, it is still used today. It doesn't look like much from a photo, but it's horrific and one of the worst tortures you can experience. Basically, you'll be placed in just a white room, like a prison cell, but it's just plain white. Everything in the room is white. The bed, the walls, the toilet, the shelves, the door, everything. There's no other colours in the room. Now you probably think, well, it's not a big deal, it's just white. Well, you'd be wrong there. By seeing the same colour, especially white, constantly and no change, will drive you insane. to the point where you're hallucinating, smashing into the walls, and possibly even trying to kill yourself. That's why most of these white rooms are actually padded, so people can't just run havoc in the walls. But yeah, for the first day or two, you'd be, it's not that bad. But people will be held in here for months upon months upon months. And after around only day 3, you'll start to go insane. So like and follow for more.
Creepy facts
How long has you
about
guys
the
survived in the white
zodiac
room?
signs. Gemini to face.
Gemini, Two-Face. That's what they're talking about. That's what I'm getting off those
Taurus,
pictures.
stalkers.
Stalker vibes from Taurus.
Aquarius, very manipulating.
Is that true for Aquariuses?
Leo. Good liars.
Leos are good liars. Drop your sign down below.
Cancer, obsessive in relationships.
Each sign got their own fault.
Libra knows how to ruin your day in every way.
Damn.
This has to be one of the creepiest mugshots I've ever seen, and the story behind it is pretty disturbing. This is the man in the mugshot, Christopher Queen. At the time of his arrest, he was 48 years old and living in Pennsylvania. So on election day in 2018, Christopher entered a polling center in Pennsylvania planning on casting a vote. But when he arrived to vote, he was told that he couldn't because he wasn't registered. Poll workers who were working that day even stated that they heard Christopher mention that he was getting paid $100 to come vote, which obviously was not true. But when Christopher arrived, like I said before, he wasn't registered to vote in Washington County, the county he was in. When the workers told him that he couldn't vote, they noticed that Christopher began to shake uncontrollably and became filled with some sort of a rage. He then and after that, he was quickly put into handcuffs. I don't know the full story behind why he chose to exhibit this expression in his mugshot, but they caught him before he could enact any sort of violence, and yeah, he was arrested. It's worth noting as well that in other news reports that surfaced after this threat was made, Christopher is seen smiling in the same type of manner. Luckily though, authorities were able to arrest Christopher and put him in custody that day before he could cause any violence.
So it looks
I
like
got
Art the
Joker
Clown is
vibes.
starring in a brand new horror movie, and we don't have to wait until Terrifier 4. As we know, the actor who plays Art the Clown is David Howard Thornton, who of course plays Art the Clown, and who also played the Grinch in The Mean Ones, which I feel like is a little bit overhated. Yes, it's a low-budget horror movie having to do with the Grinch story, but there are a ton of aspects that David Howard Thornton uses while playing the Grinch in The Mean Ones that really makes it feel like it's Art the Clown. And I feel like it's almost the same thing we're going to be getting in this Mickey Mouse horror movie having to do with Steamboat Willie, a Steamboat Willie horror movie, pretty much Mickey Mouse, more or less. Now yes, technically it's one of those lower budget horror movies, kind of like the Grinch the Mean Ones. And if you've seen the trailer, you might know that it does not look great. I'm going to reiterate one more time, neither did Terrifier when it first came out. I'm pretty sure they're not going to be using CGI either. It looks like they're going to be doing a full costume like they do in Terrifier. Obviously I cannot show you the trailer because it's extremely graphic, and I don't really know if it's something that you want to watch in general. But all in all, I think it's amazing that David Howard Thornton is not only just playing Art the Clown, but playing these other characters. And I'm hoping he's going to be giving it a little bit of Art the Clown inspo. As I said, when he played the Grinch in The Mean Ones, there were aspects of Art the Clown, that funny, that humor, that we only see from Art the Clown. I'm just glad we don't have to wait till Terrifier 4.
Do you ever see a picture that just makes your stomach drop? This is a still from an alert that a woman named Alexis Randall got on her phone. It's from a security camera that was set up in her living room, but she's looking at this and she's thinking the same thing you were. She's like, what's wrong with the picture here? Why did the motion detector go off? But then look a bit closer, specifically at the bathroom door. This man was staring at the camera from the doorway. She spots this picture and she immediately panics and calls the police, but by the time they get there, this guy is gone. What really freaked her out even more is that when police got there, they found evidence that the bathroom window had been tampered with. Further security footage would show that the man had crawled through the bathroom window the night before and was hiding in the hallway bathroom all through the night, even while she was in the house. And if you guys are loving Creep Time, make sure to go follow on Insta.
One of my worst fears, man. Somebody just in your house and you have no idea. I didn't even see that until he zoomed in. Gotta
Here are the
beware.
most terrifying mythical beasts from around the world. First up, the Wendigo. The Wendigo is described as a gigantic creature which is a near-perfect hunter and can control the weather through the use of dark magic. Native Canadian and American folklore state that the Wendigo is born when a human has to resort to cannibalism to survive, although it has also been described as a spirit which possesses sexist humans who are excessively greedy or gluttonous. Before we continue, please show your support by pressing share copy link to receive a brofist in the comments section. Next up, Black Annis. Black Annis is a hag-like creature in English folklore with iron claws and an appetite for human children. Legend has it that Black Annis would hide in trees waiting for her victims, and when she caught them, she would wear their skins around her waist. But if you were careful, you could hear her teeth grinding and run away. Let me know what countries I should do next.
The Wendigos, man. I learned some new lore on that.
Lost inventions that could have changed the world, part 4. In the late 1990s, inventor Jan Slow created the Slow digital coding system. He claimed it could compress an entire multi-gigabyte movie down to a file size of 8 kilobytes. This would have revolutionized the way we store and share data. Slout demonstrated this to executives from Philips by playing 16 movies simultaneously from a single 64 kilobyte chip. And the Philips execs told Slout that he was about to be, quote, the richest man on earth. However, 2 days before the source code was going to be handed over, Slout mysteriously died in his garden of a heart attack on September 11th, 1999, and his decoding software was never recovered.
And what do you guys think about that? There's no way that's a coincidence, man. It compacted all those files into like just 8 gigabytes. And there was proof he showed him, man. He was about to be the richest man on earth. Somebody didn't want that product to go through. I don't know who behind that one. That's
YouTubers who've done horrible things. Jay Station was a Canadian YouTuber who would often do pranks and 3M videos. One day, he claimed that his girlfriend Alexia was suddenly killed in a car accident. However, he used her death as a way to get views, even communicating to her through an Ouija board. Alexia was revealed to be alive, and once the truth came out, she later revealed how mentally abusive he was. This would later lead to his channel being demonetized.
Times when actors
I remember
couldn't
that.
act. In The Boys, Homelander is one of the most menacing and intimidating villains we've ever seen. In this scene, he knocks over a door just by knocking. But when Anthony Starr realizes he accidentally broke the set, he completely breaks character.
Shit, are you supposed to do that?
Sorry, guys.
You broke the door, man.
I'm sorry. And for this flying scene, they actually filmed it practically, but Anthony Starr could not stay in character.
My life. This. Off. Holy. Okay. Please, let's go.
In Spider-Man Far From Home, there's a scene where Ned shares a big secret with Peter, but Tom Holland couldn't keep a straight face while filming.
I'm a virgin. I'm so sorry.
In Wednesday, Jenna Ortega's character is dark and unapologetic, but after she accidentally hits Emma Myers with a flashlight, she snaps out of character.
Oh, sorry. Did I hit you in the face right now? Hold on. Are you okay?
And lastly, when filming Rush Hour, Jackie Chan barely knew any English, which led to him messing up his lines in the funniest ways.
Cheese!
Cheese?
Meanwhile, his co-star Chris Tucker didn't know any Chinese, which led to this.
See? How difficult is that? My English, you even cannot say 3 words!
You try, bro. Rush Hour. Classic, man.
Guess who's back again to traumatize y'all with more creepy stuff? Me! So this is a gigantic breathing animatronic that is in Shanghai, China, and it's of Confucius, the Chinese teacher. It is absolutely massive. Look how big it is in comparison to that dude right there. And it is in a pool of water that it's only like a foot deep, but it's still terrifying. Look at this. Like, its beard is in the water. That's creepy. Bro is like hyper realistic. Like, that looks like real skin. That is so freaking uncanny. And apparently his chest moves like very, very subtly, so it looks like he's breathing. No.
This picture alone heebies my jeebies beyond absolute belief. Imagine that you work in this museum at night and like your job is to go put out the lights in this area of the museum, and you're this guy and you have to put off the lights and turn off the animatronic for the night, and that thing is in the dark just staring at you. Nope. Love his eyebrows though. Like for real, his eyebrows look amazing. He's not at the museum anymore. In the video that I watched about him, he actually is put in a warehouse somewhere. So this gigantic monstrosity is just chilling in a dark warehouse somewhere right now on this planet. How do you feel about this one? Does this freak you out? Would you be able to look at it or get anywhere close to it? Would you get in that water? Me? No.
Here are 3 real ways you can survive encountering a Gashadakuru. According to Japanese mythology, the Gashadakuru is a massive skeletal being known for its unending desire to consume human blood. The first rule you'll need to follow if you suspect there's a Gashadakuru in your area is to always keep your ears open for anything that sounds unfamiliar. Despite its size, the Gashadakuru is known to be able to stalk its prey almost silently, but if you listen carefully, there's a chance you'll hear its bones chattering in the wind, giving you time to flee. Secondly, it's recommended you don't travel alone if you live in a rural area, as the Gashadakuru prefers to hunt people who are by themselves to avoid drawing attention to itself. Finally, it's recommended that you avoid old battlefields or areas where there is an abundance of improperly buried individuals, as these are the conditions necessary to spawn a Gashadakuru. Tag a friend if you're watching this alone, and follow for more.
Thanks for
The
letting us know.
Craziest Human Experiments, Part 6. The Gruesome Beheading Experiments. Throughout the 19th and 20th century, French doctors investigated whether freshly executed victims stayed alive moments after their death. One notable case was that of Charlotte Corday, who was publicly executed in 1793. According to reports at the time, her severed head was lifted up by the executioner and slapped across the face. And to the shock of the crowd, the victim's face apparently blushed and appeared angry. Another famous case in 1905 where a man shouted at a severed head and it apparently responded back. Their main goal was to find out how long a human head remained conscious after death.
They figured it out? I know. I
This
heard it
is
was
why
over.
you never paddleboard out in the ocean.
And there you have it, recent 4,269, I'd ride cross country on a bike with no seat, pause, before I'd go out into the open ocean. That is a nope of the highest order. Those are South American sea nettles, a species of jellyfish that can have a bell, you know, that umbrella looking part, more than 3 feet across, to go with tentacles that can range anywhere from 3 to 10 feet long. And I don't think I even really need to tell you, but yeah, touching one of those can be really bad for your health. They use venom to paralyze prey, but it can also cause excruciating pain and a really bad rash if you get stung. And if you think that's bad, I got something even worse. This is what a jellyfish pool party in Peru looks like the devil's bubble bath. And guess what? This kind of thing, it's only gonna get worse. Because whether you want to believe in climate change or not, the more the Earth's thermostat gets turned up, the more the jellyfish start turning up on us. Since unlike most of the effery in the ocean, jellyfish actually do better in warmer waters with less oxygen. Especially since climate change means more CO2 means more algae blooms, and guess what likes to eat algae? And you don't have to be in the water to get rocked by jellyfish. There have been times where jellyfish swarms got so bad they dead for real caused power outages because they managed to clog the pipes in power plants. Now go ahead and add the fact that some jellyfish can spawn 45,000 eggs a day, especially if we're actively murking the things that eat them. Just another reason to save the turtles.
Save the turtles,
The
man.
most insane trade war has officially begun because Canada, Mexico, and China are pissed and have now all announced their own plans on how to retaliate against Trump's tariffs. I mean, even at last night's NHL hockey game, you had Canadians booing the US national anthem. So what the hell is going on? Well, you see, yesterday Trump's promised 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico and 10% on China officially kicked in. And what that means is that any goods sent from these countries to the United States, well, they'll now cost companies 25% more, or 10% in China's case. So for example, if a Canadian business sent a car to the US that cost $50,000, today US companies will pay a $12,500 tariff at the border. But then here's the annoying part, they'll pass that cost down to you, the US customer. So the price of your once $50,000 car is now actually $62,500. But this doesn't make sense. Why would Trump purposefully make things more expensive for Americans? Well, two main reasons. The first is more of a longer-term, unguaranteed benefit, but it would be to change consumer habits to buy more American-made products and incentivize more international companies to manufacture in the US. In theory, that means a stronger US economy, more stable jobs, and less dependence on foreign countries. And the second reason for imposing these tariffs would be to use them as a tool to pressure Canada, Mexico, and China into doing what Trump wants. I mean, some of these things that he's publicly mentioned include renegotiating trade deals, stopping illegal immigration and the flow of fentanyl, and then there's also Canada becoming a state of America, but that's a bit more far-fetched. But here's where things get interesting, because instead of just doing what Trump wants, Canada have clapped back with a 25% tariff of their own, and Mexico said they're doing the same, but haven't announced the percentage yet. China reacted in a little bit of a different way by preparing to file a lawsuit with the World Trade Organization. So why is Trump not backing down? Well, just listen to this. In 2023, Canada sent 76% of all of their exports to the United States. That accounts for roughly 19% of their entire GDP. In 2024, Mexico sent 78% of all of their exports to the United States. That makes up 37% of their entire GDP. But for America, their exports to both countries combined only make up roughly 2.7% of their entire GDP. So, simply put, even if they do retaliate, getting into a tariff war with the United States would hit Canada and Mexico much harder. Trump, he knows this, and he's using it. It doesn't make it any less controversial, and it does still mean that people in all three countries will see a price increase. But it seems like, for Trump at least, that's just the cost of America winning.